Was happening with it? You already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. And you already know when you come in the building, let me know you in the building. You know, drop in the comment section. Yes, sir. We back at it. And when you come in the building, make sure you hit my like button. Make sure you hit the like button when you drop in the building. Yeah, we got a live show for you tonight. We got a whole lot of boxing to talk about. And matter of fact, I'm going to have an open forum too. So if you got anything you want to talk about, the numbers on the numbers scrolling across the screen, you know, call in. Marlon So Icy Sims, what it do? We off in this. We off in this thing tonight. Let's get it. And like I said, when you come in the building, drop in the comment section and let me know where you're coming from. It's a whole lot of shit been going on in boxing, a whole lot of BS. You know, we got a lot of good fights coming up. Let's talk about it. You know, I ain't been on doing no lives in a minute, so it's time to get back to it. You know, it's fight week. It's fight week. We finally getting some big fights coming. Joe Tom, what's happening? He says, off topic, who you got? Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Acosta. That's a hard one, homie. That's a real hard one because Israel, that's my guy, but he ain't looked too impressive his last fight. You know, he was surviving, but he didn't look too impressive. I don't know if Paulo Acosta, if he don't get tired, he might be able to win that fight, but I'm going for Israel. I'm going for Adesanya, but that's gonna be that's a hell of a fight. And I forgot about that, man. We got UFC fights. It's too much a thing. It's too many fights happening this weekend. We got the UFC. We got the boxing, the Charlo's pay-per-view. You know, shit. And we probably gonna have the NBA Western Conference or Eastern Conference finals on at the same time. I hate when it's like that. And we got two pay-per-views. Because remember, the Charlo's pay-per-view is set up into two different segments. And like I said, we going to get the show started real soon. But when you come in, hit my like button. It don't take no time to hit a like button. And if you watching this on Facebook, if you on Facebook watching, share this to your boxing groups. Mike Ortiz, he said Woodley got his ass rocked. I knew Woodley was going to lose. I mean, once you start talking about retirement, if you go back and watch Woodley's last fight, right? Before that fight, he did he did I don't know, he did some type of interview. And when he was talking about retiring, and when I heard that, I said, yeah, Woodley's done. He's done. And if you go watch Woodley's last fights, he don't even look, he looks like a shell of himself, you know. So I knew Woodley was going to lose. I mean, but let's see how Colby Covington does against if he goes and fights Usman again. You know, I don't like him. He can fight though. You know, Colby Covington, I can't stand him, but he can fight. Salute Blue Blood Sports TV off in the building. The hardest working man in boxing media. Renee Box Young, salute to you, King, off in the building. Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. And like I said, I'm gonna get the show started real soon. I'm just giving some more people time to come in the building. And then we're gonna get it started. And like I said, hit my like button when you come in the building. Mr. Rez J2 off in the building. He says, what up with the 310 in the bit? He said the 310 off in the building. The 310. Yeah. A lot of shit we got to talk about. A lot of boxing. A lot going down. Daniel Parra off in the building. What's good with you? He said, big week. Yeah, it's a big week. Big week. So, you know, like I said, hit my like button and we're going to go ahead and get it started and share this to all your boxing groups. You know, if you watch it from Facebook, share this to all your boxing groups. So, man, a lot of stuff going down. A lot of things been going down in boxing. I'm going to just get straight into it. Let's talk about Adrien Broner. Let's talk about Adrien the Problem Broner. I appreciate it, Renee. Let's talk about Adrien the Problem Broner. Adrien Broner has not been in the ring for damn near 2 years now. So recently, Steven Espinoza, he just came out and he said that Adrien Broner will finally be making his return to the ring in January. AB gonna finally be returning to the ring in January. Now, this is the thing. AB, he you know, he's back and forth. 1 minute he'll tell you that he's not boxing no more, that they got to pay him $10 million to get back in the ring. You know, that he's going on with his rap career. Then he'll tell you he wants to get back in the ring. So he's back and forth. Now, my thing is, for everybody watching, who would y'all like to see AB in the ring with? And like I said, if you want to call in, the numbers scrolling across the screen, call in, or, you know, just hop in the comment section. Yeah, Renee, he's coming back. Steven Espinoza says they have him coming back in January. So AB will be back in the ring in January. But the thing is, and he will be at 140. He'll be campaigning at 140. So who do you want to see AB in the ring with? Yeah, AB is real unstable in his life, but I mean, hey, he coming back. We all know that you know, he has some legal issues that he just got out of. But you know, that's his business. I'm not even gonna get into the legal stuff. The thing I want to talk about is in the ring. Hold on, let's see who we got calling in. Caller, what's good? Where you calling from? What's your name?
What's good, bro? This is Renee Box Young. Shouts out from Mexico, man.
What's going on, Renee?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in real quick, man. You know, just talk about this real quick about Adrien Broner. What weight is he going to fight at? So
AB is fighting at 140. He's going to be fighting at 140 from now on.
140? Wow.
Yep.
Wow. There are no names yet, right? There are no names out there that Adrien Broner is possibly talking about? No, right?
No, they haven't. They just said that he's going to be coming back in January for sure. You know, AB, if he don't get into no more trouble, he'll be coming back in January. But the thing is, like, at 140, who do y'all want to see him fight? Who do you think will be, a good, realistic matchup for him? Coming back off a 2-year layoff at that.
I think the first name that came to mind is a Robert Easter, but they're friends. I don't think they'll fight. If I'm not mistaken, they always roll together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they was actually together this weekend. They was just out partying. They was together this whole weekend. So yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, I think that would be cool, but just for that. But obviously. The thing here about Adrien Broner, it's the same situation, same story. Obviously, he has the talent, he has the skills. Everybody says time and time again he has to throw them hands, but you never see it. I mean, when was the last time he really did throw his hands? What, against Adrian Granados, was it?
Yeah. He did let his hands go a little more in the Jesse Vargas fight. In the Jesse Vargas fight, he let his hands go. In the Adrien Broner fight, me and Blue Blood actually did a live, and we broke down the Adrien Broner fight. And it's crazy. He could have. I mean, not the Adrien. My bad. The Manny Pacquiao fight. We broke down the Manny Pacquiao fight live. And if you go watch that fight, Adrien Broner could have won that fight if he let his hands go. It's the never ending saying with AB. If he let his hands go.
Now, the problem here, I think, more than anything is that, it's like it's been the same thing time and time again, with the AB, letting his hands go. If he hasn't done it for a while, he probably won't do it again. And I think he's just coming back for a quick paycheck. As far as opponents, I mean, I only see the champs, honestly. I only see right now in 140. I mean, maybe a Victor Postal would be nice, that would be cool to watch. Obviously, he's not going to fight a champ. He's not going to fight Jose Ramirez. He's not going to fight Josh Taylor. He's not going to fight, those guys, the champions. So we got to go down the totem pole a little bit more. I think a Postal would be nice to watch. That would be interesting.
My man in the comments says, let me see where I lost it. Daniel Parra, he said Regis Prograis. They got history. Let me see. Shout out to Edgar Daly's Journey. Right. D Hodges off in the building. Shout out to you, Mr. Shelton off in the building. What's good? Bradley Stinson off in the building. What's happening? Yeah. Now Regis Prograis, they got history. They've been talking shit back and forth. With each other for a minute. That'll be a great fight. And we all know that AB don't duck no smoke. Right? He's never ducked no smoke. He's always been down to get in the ring with everybody. But this is the thing. I keep my ear to the streets and I pretty much try to watch everything. AB, he said something, that was very interesting. He said the first part of his career was, basically he did it for the fans. Basically what he was saying, the first part of his career, he took any fight that was out there. He was willing to fight any and everybody to show that he don't duck no smoke. He says the second part of his career is going to be different. He said the second part of his career is all about him, the business AB. So now, do we see AB take these tough fights, like Regis Prograis, or does he start, picking and choosing his opponents? Because he did say that. So by him saying that, what he said, what does that mean? Does that mean that he's changing up and he's going to do like a lot of these other fighters do? Is he going to start picking and choosing opponents, or he's still going to be the same AB that's willing to fight anybody?
I completely forgot about Regis Prograis. I don't know why, but that now that you mentioned that would be awesome. And like you said, Adrien Broner, I do respect that in him. He'll fight, he'll go in and take any name, but I personally think that he should go for Regis Prograis. It's really hard to tell right now because he's been behind the scenes, the only time we see him is really when he's doing, partying or doing some stuff like that. But, when he really talks, like when it comes to talking serious about who he wants to box next, I don't think he has thrown names out there really. But you're right, Regis Prograis and Adrien Broner have history, and I think that would be the best matchup for 2021 January. But who knows, right? Who knows what Adrien Broner is really thinking, or if he's just going to choose like they say, right, a cherry. If he's going to do a cherry pick, hopefully he doesn't. I think it would be amazing to see Regis Prograis versus Adrien Broner, man. That's the best bet for him, man. Other than that, because that's the thing. I'm saying he's just coming back for a check. But he might as well make it worthwhile for the fans. You know what I'm saying? But I think that after this fight, I don't think he's going to really be active anymore, man. He's going to leave again and just come back some other time unexpectedly. But Regis Prograis would be awesome, man.
Right. And salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Bernard Burton, CB Sports TV. What's good with it? Everybody go make sure y'all subscribe to CB Sports TV. D Hodges off in the building. What's good? Andrew Charles, what's happening? Matt Dovin off in the building. Yeah, so think about that shit. Think about him and Regis Prograis getting in the ring against each other. That's a hell of a style matchup. Both of them like to work inside. Tiffany Sumter, salute to the queen. What's good with you? So both of them like to get inside. Both of them, they like to brawl when they get inside. AB, he don't never let his hands go unless you in his range. Now, if you get in his range and you give him, the chance to let his hands go, he'll fight you on the inside. He'll fight you on the inside. And Regis Prograis, he like to work on the inside like that. I think that'll be a hell of a fight. That'll be a hell of a fight if they got in the ring. But I don't know if AB is willing to take a fight like that, coming back off a 2-year layoff. Regis Prograis, he's coming off a layoff himself. He don't have no opponent. Why not? Why not make that? Because Regis, he hasn't been in the ring since he lost to Josh Taylor. That's a hell of a fight. Shit, we could use our voice as fans to try to push this, but who knows? Who knows who AB get in there in the ring with? But I don't see him getting in there with a Regis Prograis, because you got to think AB hasn't had a W in a long time. You know what I'm saying? He ain't had a W in a long time. So I see AB, if he does get in the ring coming off a 2-year layoff, I see them putting him in the ring with somebody that they know that he could beat. It was talks for a long time that he was going to fight Ivan Redcatch. That shit never came to fruition, right? Blue Blood says they said it's set up for Regis. Oh shit. Now if it is, and Blue Blood, he be on point. World Combat Sports off in the building. Y'all go subscribe to my man World Combat Sports, Scotty. BG off in the building. Mike Ortiz. Yeah, CB Sports says don't Regis fight on Tank undercard. I ain't heard that. I haven't heard that. It'll be good, but if they setting up a Adrien Broner and Regis Prograis, that's a mega fight to me. That's a big fight because just of the style. Like for the fans, that's a treat for the fans. So how Renee, how do you think that AB, okay? Say AB on his A game. How do you see him doing against a Regis Prograis?
Man, Adrien Broner at his A game, that would be a really good fight, man. I would see, I personally think that Adrien Broner, hard to believe, right? But you're talking about his A game. So, if Adrien Broner really, really trained that serious, which I don't think is going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. But if he did, really got serious into training, like the old Adrien Broner, the focused Adrien Broner, the on point Adrien Broner, the hungry Adrien Broner. I think he can take Regis, man. It may sound crazy, but just look at what Josh Taylor did, man. Even though it was some people might get, Josh Taylor, man, boxed out Regis Prograis pretty good. Yes, people say, "Oh yeah, but look at Josh Taylor's eye," and just look at the scorecard. Look at the, and it's not like I trust in judges all the time, but look what he did in the ring. Look at his high IQ. Look what he did against Regis Prograis. I understand he got a big old, big black eye and stuff, but apart from that, You know, he boxed out Regis well. Now, the reason why I say it's because Adrien Broner is not a Josh Taylor. Obviously, they got their own styles, but you know, Adrien Broner is sharp. Remember when he fought Porter? He didn't. Obviously, Adrien Broner wasn't throwing his hands much at all. But what did he do? He caught Porter. I think it was in the last round, round 12. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember which round. But towards the end of the fight, man, he just caught him. Boom! You know, he calculated it. I mean, Adrien Broner has that sharp ability, man, and boxing. I mean, great. He has high IQ. You know, when he fights, great defense. But you know, we're talking about a grade A Adrien Broner. I think he would do very well against the Regis Prograis. But I don't think it's going to happen. You know what I mean? I think that if they do fight Regis Prograis, he's going to go in there. He's going to be hard. You know, just go all the way in. Kind of like what he did, kind of like what Maidana did, but not as sloppy. Obviously, Maidana is kind of a little bit more sloppier, with all due respect, you know. But Regis Prograis would be going on the inside, giving Adrien Broner some war, even like Adrian Granados did, you know. So, I mean, that's how I think it would play out, you know what I mean? But when we're talking about, like you asked, grade A, top-notch, Adrien Broner, who's really focused, I think he would win. Hey, Everything Boxing, thanks so much for receiving my call, man. I'm going to give you a chance to, get the other guys in there. If anybody's going to call, I got to go, okay? Thank you so much, bro. Salute, everybody.
I appreciate you, Renee. And y'all go subscribe to Renee Box Young on YouTube. Renee Box Young. Yeah, so, me, I don't see AB. I don't see AB beating Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is active. Regis Prograis is a dog. And I just don't see AB being active enough to beat Regis Prograis. But I see it being a hell of a fight, a hell of a stylistic matchup. But I have to get a nod to Regis Prograis. He's just too active. AB, he's not. When AB fights an opponent that's going to pressure him and be active and throw a lot, he just shells up for some reason. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. I watch AB train. I watch him train. In AB, he trains in spurts. That's why he fights in spurts. He train. If you see him hitting a heavy bag, if you see him on the mitts, whatever it is, he only trains in spurts. So he'll train, like he'll throw punches in spurts, and then he'll walk around and rest, and then come back and train more, walk around and rest. That's why he doesn't have that activity level inside of the ring, because his brain his brain is trained like that. He doesn't train nonstop. If you see a Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence Jr., when you see them train, they train like dogs. Like you watch them and they just going and going and going and going and going and they never stop. And then if they do stop and take a break, it's a really short break and they back at it, for long periods of time. AB don't train like that. AB, he'll train in flurries. He'll walk around, he'll rest. He train a little bit, walk around and rest. And if you see it when he's in the ring, anytime he gives you any activity, it's he'll let his hands go for a quick second and then he'll stop, he'll rest. So that has a lot to do why Adrien Broner don't have a high level activity. It's the way he trains. Bradley Stinson says, how you feel about Mayweather returning to fight Logan Paul? That's how I feel about it. Nothing. I don't feel nothing about that at all. Like don't even get me on that, but that's a whole nother story. Mike Ortiz says Prograis' next fight is on the 24th. So I actually looked it up right now and I see let me see. When is this? That was last. Okay, so last month it said something about Prograis was. So this is what CB Sports was talking about. So last month in August, article came out and it said that Regis Prograis was going to fight on the Davis Santa Cruz card versus Geraldo. Let me see. It says Juan Geraldo. So Regis Prograis was supposed to come back and fight against Juan Geraldo. It says in a 10-round junior welterweight fight on October the 24th at Mohegan Sun Resort in Connecticut. He says that bout will be shown on Showtime pay-per-view, so under the Tank Davis card. But if you go look, if you go look at BoxRec, they don't have that fight scheduled at all. It's not on BoxRec. So I don't know if that fight fell off. I don't know what happened, but let me read. It says the fight will first So if you go try to find anything about that fight now, any updated information, they don't have any updated information. So as far as right now, I don't know. They don't have Regis Prograis scheduled to fight anybody right now. He was scheduled to fight on the like my man CB Sports TV said, he was scheduled to fight on that the Tank Davis Leo Santa Cruz undercard. So if that's gonna happen still, I don't know, but it's not showing. You can't find no news on that. And this is my thing about AB, right? Let me get through some of y'all comments. J8 off in the building. What's happening? Mark Wonderlick off in the building. He says if AB not going to let his hands go, he should just keep rapping. Hey, that's real. But you know, he got to get that money. He still got a fan base. So he know whatever he do, whoever he face, he gonna get his bag. Mark Wonderlick says, Utah in the building. What's good with you? Salute to you, Mark. So this is my thing about AB. I don't see AB beat nobody. I don't see him beat no tough opponents no more. I really don't. And this is the reason why. It's not because he don't have the talent. It's because boxing is like far, far back in his regiment. You know, he not focused on boxing no more. You know, if you don't show me that you taking your craft serious, how can I take you serious and, and think that you're going to beat one of these top level guys like Regis Prograis? Regis Prograis is training every day. I follow Regis. He trained hard every day. He take the sport serious. Adrien Broner, he got, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say he got one foot in the sport. You know, he like the kid in the swimming pool, right? That's scared to jump in the water. He just dangling his toes in the water and shit splashing around. That's AB now. He just dangling his toes in the water. He ain't jumping off into the deep end no more. He not taking it serious no more. So I can't really, I wouldn't pick him to beat none of these top dudes. Seriously. I think, like I said, I think that he goes in there against Regis Prograis, and I think he do what we used to seeing him do. His level of activity is going to be low, and I think that Regis Prograis, coast to a victory. I think AB, he might start trying to, fight hard in the 10th round, but I mean, that's too late. I don't see AB beat none of these cats. Daniel Parr says Top Rank was selling Pedraza Kool-Aid this weekend. Yeah, I didn't even see that Pedraza fight. I was watching the Erickson Lubin and I was watching the Erickson Lubin Goucher fight and the King Tug fight on Showtime. I was watching I was trying to watch the Top Rank card, but it was too much of stuff going on. You had you had basketball going on, you had college sports, you had boxing. It's too much of stuff that be going on, Vince Lee said, did you believe when he said he beat Pacquiao? Hey, man, you can't. I mean, I believe anything that come out of AB mouth. Like, don't nothing that come out of AB mouth surprise me. But I was disappointed when he got on the microphone and said that he beat Pacquiao. Like, I was like, man, come on, AB. Why would you say that? Like, why would you say that? Because it disappointed me, because I saw all the things that he could have did in that fight, and he didn't even do nothing. Like, after a certain point, after AB got hurt in the 7th round, to me, he was just trying to survive from then on. He wasn't even trying to fight. He was just trying to survive. To say that he went 12 rounds, and then to come on the microphone post-fight and say that you won the fight. Come on, man. You survived the fight. But that's my opinion. BG says, I think AB could have been one of the greatest, but he just didn't put work in, or he didn't want it enough. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. When AB got to that certain see, AB, I think AB growing up, he was always in boxing. He was always good in boxing. You know, he did his thing. But I think at some point, you know, growing up, AB wanted to be a superstar. He wanted to be a great fighter so he could be recognized as a superstar, right? So he could be a celebrity, right? Once he got to that celebrity status, well, it's kind of like, is the hunger there? The hunger's not there because now you reach the celebrity status, right? Some fighters want to be the best ever, you know, to step in the ring, right? You got some fighters that they don't give a fuck about being a celebrity. They want to be the best fighter ever to step in the ring, right? Then you have AB. AB, growing up, he wanted to be, you know, a celebrity. And he knew boxing was a way for him to get star status because, you know, that was his thing. That's what he trained and worked hard in. So once he got to that celebrity status, I think that the hunger, you know, the hunger went away. He had everything else that he always wanted. You know, he wanted to be a rapper. He wanted to be this. And so he got to explore all of them things once he became a superstar from the sport of boxing, you know, because let's not forget, he became a superstar from the sport of boxing. Everything else became secondary. Let me see who this calling in. What's going on with it? Where you calling from? What's your name?
What's happening, bro? This is Sonny, man. I'm originally from London, man. What's going on?
What's going on with you, my dude?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. You're speaking some real facts there, bro. I was just saying to somebody the other day, I don't see AB being anyone more than a B- fighter anymore because of the lack of ability of when he's out of the ring. He ain't acting right. So personally, AB's got a lot of talent, man, and he wasted a lot of his talent through his lifestyle and, you know, his flamboyant way of living. But he don't follow the code, man. So, you know what I mean? Some of these young fighters, I mean, even if he goes to 135, if he can make the weight, Devin Haney's too much for him now. And there was a time that AB, he couldn't lose at 130 and 135. You remember them days?
Yeah, man, he was a beast. But see, he took the sport, the way his approach to the sport was a lot different back then. Even hearing him talk, I was listening to some interviews, and he said back then, he said all he did was eat, sleep, and drink boxing. He said he would get his paychecks and not even cash them.
Bro, AB was the boogeyman at once. There was a time that people were scared to fight him. Real fighters, they were trying to avoid him. That's what AB was. I think it was about four years ago. I think the last we saw AB in a situation where he was not untouchable, but one of the mandem, one of the A. I mean, you know what? I'm not going to lie. You're the one who classifies fighters at A and B and C. AB was an A-class fighter once. Am I right or wrong, bro?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely at 130, 135, he was an A-class fighter, definitely. He was the top of the echelon.
You know, something tells me if he could be that disciplined, yeah, and he can make it to 135, his best chances of winning the title, to me, I can't see him winning the title at 140 anymore. I can't see him even beating the top boys. I mean, personally speaking, I mean, I know this sounds a bit, you know what? I don't know about, you know, that guy, Josh Taylor. Even he's 140, right? Josh Taylor?
Yeah, Josh Taylor's 140.
Yeah, his work rate, bro. Them man, they train all the time. They train when there's no fight. They're consistently training. And the kind of fighters which are left in where AB needs to be. Either AB is going in for money, and this is going to sound bad. Some people might not like what I'm going to say now. But AB, if he loses the next fight to Regis, he becomes the gatekeeper. AB is the gatekeeper next after this. If he can't win anymore, AB is the guy that you got to go and fight to get to the world title. And that's just about the gatekeeper. And, you know, that's what they're going to class him as. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, I think almost there right now. The only reason, and like I said, I don't even want to knock AB because I like AB, but we just speaking facts. The only reason that he is able to still be relevant is because of his star status. You know, he's entertaining. He's able to make you believe that he's going to beat each and every opponent by the way that he talks. You know, he'll make you believe that, you know, the shit that he talks. He had a lot of people believing that he was going to beat Manny Pacquiao. That's why that fight was so big. A lot of people thought that AB was actually going to beat Manny Pacquiao. And it wasn't because of what they saw from him in the ring recently, you know, leading up to that fight. It was because that he made you believe by the things that he said, by the confidence that he showed.
Yeah, but bro, right now he's got stopped, like you said, because of his mouth. And
the
way that he's going on. A lot of people hate on him. And hate creates money. Hate creates energy. And AB's smart in that situation. He did that from a young kid. The one thing he followed from Mayweather, he started speaking a lot of shit that he couldn't back it up. And people started hating on him. And there was a point, and I'm telling you now, and I'm telling you, I might be from England, but I'm talking a lot of fans. There was a point, people actually paid for AB to see if he was going to lose. Now, they're actually paying to see if he's ever going to win. And if he can't win, he doesn't become in that category of what we watching AB for. You know, and he's coming to that stage, and it's sad, but AB, the way that he lives his life, man, he's not disciplined, bro. Look, I'm in Dallas, yeah? When AB came, look, I don't want to say too much, but when AB came for Spence and Garcia's fight, I was there. And I was staying in the Radisson Hotel where AB was. And I'm not going to say too much, but he was partying hard. That's AB for you, bro. And that's his lifestyle. And that catches up with you. And I'm not mistaken. Is he 30 years old now?
I think AB 31. I think he's 31.
Bro, he gasses out. Yeah, but he gasses out now after certain rounds, and you can see he can't throw the punches that AB was a fighter who had work rate. And as soon as he started in the last couple years, I mean, I got to be honest with you, the way that they marketing AB still, the way he markets himself with the hate and the way that he throws all that flamboyant lifestyle and all the trouble he gets in, I'm surprised he can get 10 million a fight. And if I'm not mistaken, if that's what he's asking for, I don't think AB is worth 10 million in any fight anymore. He got his payday from Pacquiao. I don't see his big payday anymore after he loses this fight. I just don't see it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what I said, if he goes in there against an opponent that can beat him and he gets beat, it's gonna be very, very hard. No matter how much shit he talk, it's gonna be hard for him to get, you know, big fights after that. It's gonna be hard because then, as fans, you're not even gonna listen to what he's saying. You just go know like, oh, he just a gatekeeper. Like, you know, they just put him in the ring, he gonna lose, you know. And once it gets to that point, then fans slowly stop watching you. You know, fans don't really care about you know, the antics that you're doing in the fight build up, you know, because nobody gonna take you serious. And like I said, you can't expect for a fan base to take you serious if you're not even taking your own self serious. So, you know, that's
I know it sounds crazy though. I know it sounds crazy, but aren't we actually trying to see if AD can win now, mate? Some of us fans are actually sick of him losing. We know the talent he's got. We actually do want to see him win. But he just doesn't come with the goods. And he's consistently... Look, bro, when he lost against Mikey Garcia as well, that was a fight that I know if AB was disciplined, AB was the guy that he was just a couple of years ago, I believe he could have beat Mikey Garcia.
Right,
but
right.
He lets himself down, bro. And I think people are just sick of it. And I'm not just saying this because I'm not from America, man. I love AB in the beginning, bro. He was the boogeyman. He was actually showing me that he's got a bigger mouth than Mayweather, and this is the money man. And personally, he didn't make the money that the way that I was looking at him in the younger days. Am I right, though? When he was on the younger days, bro, I thought this boy would be the $100 million fighter one day. It never happened.
Well, yeah, because, man, this is the thing. Adrien Broner could have been bigger than Mayweather. He could have been bigger than Mayweather, because the thing is that he was more entertaining He was more entertaining at that point. He was more entertaining outside and inside of the ring. AB was doing shit that you never had seen a fighter do before. Just when he got down on one knee and act like he was gonna propose, and told his now she is his wife, but told his wife that was his girlfriend back then, hey, can you brush my hair? He was exciting. Like, people would want to see AB. I remember we would just watch him to see what he was gonna do after he won the fight, to see the type of shit he was gonna say in the post-fight interview. And it's hard to get, it's hard to get to that level. And at that point in time, he was backing up everything he was saying, and he was exciting in the ring. But like I said, once he got to that certain status, hey, the focus, the training, we back then, if you go and do your research, you would see AB, he was always in shape. He was always in shape, after he got to that certain status, I say after the Madonna fight, probably, or no, before the Madonna fight. But when he went after he beat Antonio DeMarco, that's kind of when everything started going downhill, because if you go look at him before, AB was always in tip-top shape, always in shape, walking around, always in shape. And then after that, remember, I think after the Paulie fight, after the Paulie Malignaggi fight, dude blew up to like 170 something. He had never been nowhere near that weight. Went on a rap tour, and from then it was all downhill, and now AB, I know a lot of people want to saying like, well, if he could make 135, if AB tried to make 135, all of the abuse that he's put his body through, right? All of the times that he's blown up in weight, walking around at 190, 185, he a little dude. For him to be walking around that big, that's gonna put, that's gonna put a lot of wear and tear on his body. Your body can only take so much. So AB wouldn't be nothing at 135. It's gonna even be hard for him to make 140 and look good at 140. Because like I said, now his body, he's not in his 20s no more. He's 31. I think he'll be 32 in July. And
I don't think AB is going to fight Regis though, bro. That would destroy his own credibility and his market and his stock. He must be smarter than that. His team must know that he can't be fighting Regis. But if he loses to Regis, his stock falls. His stock goes down. So Regis ain't the guy to lose to right now for AB. Don't you think so?
Well, I mean, you can't. Regis is a hell of a fighter. Regis Prograis is a hell of a fighter. So I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say like, oh well, if he lost to Regis, his stock go down. I wouldn't. If I'm handling AB, I wouldn't put him in the ring. I wouldn't put him in the ring with a Regis Prograis coming off a 2-year layoff. In 92 AKU, I see you, Jeff. I see you in the building. Dayton Henry Jr., what's good? He says AB made more children than fights the last few years. He says PBC. Hey, dude, crazy. He said PBC money is good, so he could afford to take the time off.
A long time ago, Mayweather already told us a long time ago about that dude. When Mayweather on Fight Hype got put off on AB and he stopped moving with AB and he stopped promoting AB, we should have known from that Mayweather knew this guy ain't going to make it like that. So Mayweather even ready to put his hands off AB a long time ago.
92 AKU, he says AB is a 4-division champ. What the F? So we know that, all right? But we talking about now. You know what I'm saying? It even if we like AB.
Done for me lately?
Hey,
what has AB done for me lately?
Let me get this in. Let me get this in. At 92 AKU. Even if we like AB, right? That doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Adrien Broner is you know, I mean, he hasn't done nothing lately. He ain't beat nobody. He's had a lot of chances.
I'm gonna say this: if Errol Spence or Terence Crawford or even Tank Davis had the mouth of what AB had, they would be a $30 million fighter. Any fight they would fight.
Oh man, easily.
AB has the most. The way he talks and the way that people hate him, those fighters would only wish they could have got that kind of attraction with what AB had, with the skill set that Errol or Terence and Tank Davis have. Because for me, AB actually gets more. I think he makes more money than them fighters even today. Even today, until he loses to somebody like we were just talking about, because of his mouth and the way that people they see him, and the way that he creates all this crazy negative energy.
Hey, man, I got another caller calling in, man. I appreciate you for calling in. I appreciate for support, man.
Yeah, we always support you, man. Like and subscribe.
Appreciate you. Let me see who this is. Caller, what's happening? Where you calling from? What's your name?
What's good? It's Scotty, man. How you feel, bro?
Oh man, you already know. I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I'm cool, man. I look at AB like this, man. I know a lot of people love to talk about what he has going on right now, but just like 92 AKU said, he is a 4-division champ. We already know that. But he came from the street and he went back to the street. But during that time, he was able to win some championships. Right now, he just need to turn back the clock, rededicate himself, and give us a can, man. You know what I'm saying? We already know he can be entertaining, but for his next fight, he needs to fight like a B or C level fighter. What you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't put him in no ring with no Regis Prograis. You know what I'm saying? Regis Prograis a beast. You know, a lot of people try to take away from him because he lost to Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's a motherfucker himself. Josh Taylor's a bad boy. You know, so as far as AB, I'll put him. This is the thing. Him and I already know Ivan Redcatch. He not no top level fighter. But this is the thing. That's a good fighter to put him in the ring against, coming back off a 2-year layoff. Put him in there with somebody that like an Ivan Redcatch that he can look good and get a knockout against, right? And then let him talk his shit and fight somebody like a Regis Prograis at 140. You see what I'm saying? But not right off the bat. And so let me correct. Okay, I see you. 92 AKU. He says that no, he means that how the heck is AB a 4-division champ? How is he a 4-division champ? Because he was that dude at one point. I mean, you know, we can't really take away from nothing that he was doing. I mean, yeah, he wasn't fighting the best competition. Let's just keep it 100. But you know, the dudes that he was fighting, just like Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, you know, he wasn't fighting the best competition, but the guys that he was fighting, he was beating the shit out of them, and he was doing it in impressive fashion. And when he beat Antonio DeMarco at that point in time was that dude. You know what I'm saying? And the way the fashion that AB went in there and beat Antonio DeMarco, that really put him on the map, you know.
I agree, man. You know, they can devalue him being a 4-division champ, but he is, and it's on BoxRec and it's official. Now we just need to kind of get to a point where, just like you're doing, we need to come up with ideas on who he should face next. You know what I'm saying? And kind of gauge, you know, what type of AB is going to return to the ring, because he's been getting in trouble as we know it. I don't know if he's in fight camp. I know he was just up there in Ohio. They had a spar day. Michael Stafford had a spar day up there. I was supposed to have went to.
Yeah, Robert Easter he sparred, didn't he? Didn't Robert Easter get?
I didn't go.
Yeah, Robert Easter sparred.
I know Robert Easter was there. Yeah, Robert Easter was there. AB was there, and the other guy. But yeah, they support. But for AB, in order for him to be a gatekeeper, he has to stay in a one, single division long enough. He's been moving all around, man. You know what I'm saying? He needs to find a home, and he needs to get disciplined enough to make the scales. So we won't be up here talking about whether he's going to make weight or not, like Gervonta.
Right.
He just needs to stay in one division and focus on that and fight who he, and in the way he should be training. And if Red catches the next man in the shoot, then let's go. Go in here and dominate Red Catch like Tank was doing this sparring, so we can get back, that energy, that AD energy we love.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to put him now, right? We know he can talk the talk. We know that he gonna get fans to watch pretty much no matter who he fight. Put him in there with somebody like Ivan Redcatch. And I'm not saying specifically Ivan Redcatch. I'm saying somebody on that level. Put him in there with somebody on that level. Shit. Maybe a Figueroa. But Figueroa, he don't got no defense. But nah, he too active. Put him in there with somebody like Ivan Redcatch. Let him, get his feet wet again. Let him look good, make some noise, get his confidence back, right? In order for him to even be anywhere near the can man again, he got to get his confidence back. You feel me? That's a big thing in boxing, is confidence. Because it don't matter. No matter what you say, how you talk, right? You can't fool yourself. So if you're not confident in yourself, that's a problem, and you already lost. So let's get his confidence back and then see what he do, after he look good and get a knockout against somebody, one of these lower level fighters. Shit. And I don't think the fans is going to get pissed off because, like I said, he ain't been in the ring in 2 years.
Correct. So what division do you think is efficient enough for AB, being that, he's ballooned up the weight? I saw him several times in person. I mean, obviously he was just eating what he wanted to eat, man. I don't really get on here and talk about it, but what it is what it is. He was out of shape. So what do you think, 47? Or do you think it's possible for him to balance his scales at 40?
So what I think is, first off, I think he needs to go back to was it Kevin Cunningham? No, it was he was with Cunningham. Yeah, I think he needs to go back with Kevin Cunningham, not Mike Stafford. I love Mike Stafford, but Mike Stafford is too lenient for AB. You know what I'm saying? He's been around him too long. I think AB kind of do pretty much what he want to do around Mike Stafford. I would like to see him back with Kevin Cunningham put him in a quarantine situation, to where, he's staying in the house like they was, and all he doing is training. Put him on a diet, get him right, because AB ain't gonna do it on his own. We know that now. You know what I'm saying? He got to be with a militant coach, that's gonna be on his ass. I think Cunningham is good for him. They've already worked together. Get in with Cunningham in January, right? We in September, so let's say October, November, December, January. I mean, he'll have a full 3 months to train, a full 3 months to train, if he do it right. But who knows, man? Like I said, don't nothing surprise me with AB, but I don't see him making 140 easy. That's what I'm saying. You got to put him in there with somebody that he can beat. Because I don't see him making 140 easy, because he's been walking around, too big. Okay, when you seen him, he looked like he a good in the 170s, right? So when you seen him, what would you say he was at?
A minimum 170, man. He had a stomach on him and everything. He didn't care. I even see him in Nashville. When I went to the Caleb Plant fight, he was up there in Nashville, Tennessee. And same thing, like, you can tell he was eating good, and he wasn't worried about anything. I'm not gonna fabricate that.
My bad, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, real quick. Call. All right. All right, go ahead. My bad, I had you on mute. Go ahead. Man, hey, my man, hold on real quick, because I can't hear you. I was getting a call in the background, and it kind of cut you out. Let me see if I could fix this. Hold on, man. Call it. Call back in. Call back in. My bad, man. Like I said, I got a call in the background and it threw me off. So call back in. Hello? Okay, I can hear you. Hey, give me 1 minute because I just got some breaking news. Give me 1 minute. Let me read this. I just got some breaking news. Let me see. Okay. Hold on. So I just got some breaking news, y'all. If y'all watching, right? Teofimo Lopez, right? He wants out of Top Rank. So if he beats Lomachenko, he wants out of Top Rank. So he said this himself personally. I'm not gonna say who he said it to, but you hearing it right here. Teofimo Lopez wants out of Top Rank if he beats Lomachenko. He's trying to get out of his Top Rank contract. He want to leave. Can you hear me? Caller, you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let me get man, hold on. Okay, so what you think about that? Changing up real quick. Changing up Teofimo Lopez, and this is something that he's told somebody that I know, right? I'm not naming no names. He told them personally that he wants out of Top Rank. He wants out.
Man, be a boss, man. Teofimo, he was able to negotiate his contract to a cool $2 million, right? So they kind of found out something right there. They kind of found out how important how his Wall Street is in the sport of boxing and what moves he can make. So I don't blame him for trying to get out of Top Rank because him and his team now understand that they can make bigger moves moving up in weight. So if he defeat Lomachenko and move up to 140, of course he want out of Top Rank because they want to start making that good money. They already proved they can negotiate and get what they want. So, hey, I don't blame him, man. I like Teofimo, man. Kudos to him. Salute. Make your moves. Make your money. We've seen Mikey Garcia do it. We've seen Mayweather. As long as he's not tied down like Terence Crawford and Jerome Ennis, then they're good.
Yeah, and see, look, we talking about Terence Crawford should have left. Now we see every fighter, right, that gets a big name or start to become big, they automatically want to leave Top Rank. It's bad business over there. You feel what I'm saying? It's bad business over there. So this is saying a lot that Teofimo Lopez, young in his career. Teofimo only 22? 22 years old, 23?
Yeah. Young, 23, I think.
Young, already want to leave. He want to leave already. He see the business. He think it's bad business over there. So this is.
I wonder why he would put it out though and tell anybody before his unification because they can jack him over there, man. They can screw him over. You know what I'm saying? I would have kept that on the hush hush, man.
Well, see, this is the thing, my man. I don't think that. Well, he hasn't put it out. I'm telling y'all. I'm putting it out there. But the thing is that I'm pretty sure that behind closed doors that they already know this. You feel what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they already know this behind closed doors. They want to sign with the PBC. Yeah.
That's what's up.
He want to sign with the PBC. Now, if he go over there with the PBC, hey, man, 140, right? Say if he move up to 140, even if he do stay at 135, it's smoke at either weight class, right?
Absolutely.
What if, right? We got Devin Haney, right? He with the zone though, but you know, they can make it happen, right? What if Devin Haney goes on and beats Gamboa, because Devin Haney's supposed to be fighting Gamboa next, right? Gary Russell is supposed to be fighting Javier Fortuna, right? They both win their fights, right? They both win their fights. Devin Haney and Gary Russell fight, right? And then one of them, the winner of that, fight Teofimo Lopez. It's all type of smoke. Like I said, if when you over there on Top Rank, you know Top Rank, mostly they do in-house. You know, you stuck, really. You know, you really stuck. That's look at Terence Crawford. He over there, Terence Crawford right now, right? He over there like that kid that then got in trouble and they mama then told him they can't go outside. And he looking through the blinds and he looking at all the other kids playing. He looking outside, looking at all the other kids playing with tears running down his eyes because he can't go outside and play. That's Terence Crawford right there. He looking at all the other kids playing, but he can't go outside and play.
He locked in to an elbow with Chris Menendorf, man. You know, of Victory Boxing Promotions. So, you know, him and Jerome Ennis in a lawsuit right now the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad situation. But Lopez, you mentioned the other night that they definitely don't want to show Devin Haney any love. You know, if they win these titles, they definitely, you know, plan on moving up to 140. They don't feel that they should stay down there and show any love. So the fights you just mentioned, it'll be good to see, you know, Gary Russell and Devin Haney fight before Devin Haney himself move up. He said he only had 2 fights remaining at 35, and they was gonna bounce. You know, so if that's the case, we'll see what changes, man. Because if Teofimo, you know, moves up to 40, that's gonna open up some belts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that rock and roll, man.
Right, exactly. Pull Counter Boxing, he says that Bud Crawford got the sharecropper contract. He says, and it makes it hard for his opponents who are used to getting way more money. Yeah, I mean, you like you see, they only want to pay Kell Brook 1.5, right? So you paying, is Kell Brook even gonna take that fight? I keep hearing different things. They talking about that Terence Crawford is supposed to fight in November, but then who is he gonna fight? We hearing Kell Brook, but I mean, when is it gonna be announced?
I agree, man. We really haven't heard anything official, you know, going on with Terence Crawford. Real talk. And it's just bad that he's scrounging. And I don't know if you know this, Keon, but you know Jerome Ennis can't fight on the regularity unless he get permission and approval from Chris Menendorf. That's why you see him inactive. I
didn't know that. Explain explain what type of contract Jerome Ennis is in, because see, a lot of you've heard us, we've been talking about why he got 26 fights and he still hasn't stepped up in opposition. Like, what is he doing? You know, so I didn't know that. Explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, because he signed with the same matchmaker turned promoter like Crawford did. And then they want to hit a point in their career where they want to make a move, just like Teofimo Lopez is trying to do. And they was locked in, and they just couldn't release themselves out of the contract when they felt like it. So with Jerome Ennis, you know, his team attempted to do the same thing. And they try to act like that they didn't want Chris Menendorf representing them no more, and they was just going about their business in the sport of boxing. But, you know, they went to court, and they're in the process of an active lawsuit right now. And any fight that Jerome get, it has to be approved by Menendorf.
Wow.
Any fight. That's why you haven't seen him on. That's why you haven't seen him in the ring, like we know he should with a record like that. Oh boy, 26-0 right now, ain't he?
Yeah, with like 23, 24, 25 knockouts, something like that.
Yeah. So I know it was this other guy that's real close to the camp. He said the lawsuit should be over this year, but it doesn't mean that Middendorf is going to be released from Jerome Ennis' responsibility. I think he's going to be tied in and get a percentage, just like he's getting a percentage off Crawford's purse too. Middendorf still gets a percentage off Crawford's purse. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing two people pretty much going through the same thing, Terence Crawford and Jerome Ennis.
That's crazy because I do remember that Terence Crawford was in some kind of fucked up contract, and Bob Arum came and saved him out of that contract, right?
Hey, he saved him partially.
Partially.
Middendorf is still receiving a percentage. They came to an agreement. But Middendorf still receives a percentage of Crawford's purse, man, every fight.
That's crazy. So that 3.5 guaranteed meal, yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that. But
yeah, it's going. You know, Middendorf is getting a percentage of that, and whoever else have their hands into it. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
That's crazy. You know, so I mean, maybe do you think that's probably all of the reason why when everybody was looking at Terence Crawford saying, why the hell did he re-sign with Top Rank? Why didn't he go over there with PBC? It was a case that he wasn't really even able to sign with, to sign with PBC.
Absolutely. Neil, hey, you hit it on the head, man. He didn't have that option. He didn't have that freedom to make that move on his own. And, you know, we've seen Mikey Garcia leave the sport, you know, the way he did, spent over $1 million in litigation fees, paying attorneys to get out his contract with Top Rank. Now, I'm going to see how smooth Teofimo's process goes. If indeed he's planning on leaving soon, I want to see how deep they in with Top Rank.
Right. Yeah, because we know them Top Rank contracts, man. Everybody got a problem when they try to get out of a Top Rank contract. You know, look, Mayweather, he had to pay his way out of the contract. You know?
Yeah, 600-some-thousand. Yep.
Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya, he got, you know, out of his contract. Look at more recently, Manny Pacquiao. They pretty much, you know, let him go. But I think he was a free agent, right? But the thing is that Manny Pacquiao had been with them so long, you know, and I think that he had kind of became, you know, he had more pull. You know, he had more pull than a lot of these other guys do because Manny Pacquiao got so big.
Yeah, I know he was lucky too. I would hate for Manny Pacquiao to be locked in on the back end of his career like this. But man, you know, it's good he had that amount of respect from whoever at Top Rank, you know, had him signed. And like you said, he potentially may be a free agent at that time. But, you know, right now, man, that's a good deal. I just hate it for Crawford and Ennis because now, you know, Ennis coming off that performance, a lot of people are looking at him for big fights. And I don't know if we're going to see him right away, Keon. I don't see it. You know, people saying, okay, well, he should fight Eugene Zugas now. He should fight Virgil Ortiz. I don't know if we're going to see that fight, man, because it has to be approved by Middendorf.
Right. Yeah, I don't shit. Now, that brings a question. Is Jerron Ennis going to be another Terence Crawford? The guy that everybody's saying that's, you know, that could do this, he could do that, he could beat this guy, he could be this fighter, but we don't never see it because he locked into a fucked up contract. Is Jerron Ennis gonna be the next Terence Crawford? You know, and I don't mean, you know, the skills in the ring. I mean, you know, you know, being in a contract that he's stuck in while everybody else getting smoked, everybody else fighting each other, while he's over here just fighting these lower level guys because he can't get in the ring with none of the top guys because of his contract. If that's the case, man, it's a sad situation. But I think one upside for Jerron Ennis is he do fight on Showtime. You know, he do. His fights are televised on Showtime. So, you know, that's a lot better than the Terence Crawford situation.
Yeah, but they tied into the same guy behind the scenes, which, you know, the knot is just about the same. You know what I'm saying? But I hope he get up out of it. I hope he's able to, you know, whether he has to pay a certain percentage for a certain amount of years, we don't know. But, man, y'all better pay attention, man. Y'all out there thinking boxing easy. These cats be locking themselves in the contracts, man, and they become ankle weights. And they need to just chill, man. You know, they're telling Gary Russell just to sign anything. I mean, hey, man, you need to take your time and have people read that stuff over.
Man, come say it again, man. And I don't even want to get into that because, man, I'm gonna go hard, man. I'll go off on that subject because it's a whole lot of people talking about that shit and they don't even really know what's going on. Like, I didn't watch everything, and like all I gotta say is the shit wasn't right. I wouldn't sign it. Ain't nobody on here would sign that shit if you was in his position. Get it right.
Especially Gary Russell being at this point in his career. Man, come on, man. You just can't go up there and just say, you know, forget it. I just want the name. I don't care about anything else. If the contract wasn't right, you know what I'm saying, it didn't meet, you know, what your honesty was, what you was looking for, then it doesn't get signed. I don't care how many videos come out. I don't care how much defamation it is. You know, hold your square, make sure it's good for business, have your people look it over, and that's that. Man, don't lock yourself into a freaking confinement. You know what I'm saying? We already got COVID going on. Gary Russell don't need to lock himself into a situation that's going to further hinder him from facing the best if he plan on moving up.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever spelt your name wrong on a contract and sent it out?
Hell no.
Man.
Hell no. Hell no.
Man, no, I ain't even want to get into that. But for everybody watching, this is just a small thing. His name was spelled wrong. Bill Haney's name was spelled wrong on the contract, right?
That voice everything. Everything. It's no catch-up. It's no catch-up. It has to be correct.
Willen Haney. And then he was asked about it. You know, well, why is your name spelled wrong on the contract? Do you spell your name Willen Haney? Your name is William Haney. Why do you spell your? Oh, I spell my name like that sometimes. Yeah. So you spell your name wrong on purpose sometimes, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. That's all I got. I don't even want to. We don't even got to discuss it no more. You know what I'm saying?
I never put a wild end to my name, man. Come on, man. It doesn't have nothing to do with intelligence. It just has a lot to do with game.
And then
certain individuals trying to run game.
Yeah, and then if we want to even get into it more, a term sheet is not supposed to be legally binding.
Correct. It's non-binding.
Yeah. Right? Why is that supposedly term sheet legally binding? That's a contract. That's not a term sheet. That means if Gary Russell signed his name on that shit that's fucked up, well, he's legally binded to that. Like, you know, he's locked in.
Yeah, he's locked in.
He's locked in.
If you get a term sheet and you sign your name, agree to the terms that's on there or what have you, yeah, that can commit you, that can lock you in. But you know, when it comes down to names being spelled different and you know all that can be something that's presented in the court of law that costs you more money.
So,
it can.
So check this out.
Man?
This is what I'm saying. All right. And I'm not saying that Bill was trying to do this. You know, I'm just this is all I'm saying, right? If me and you have a contract with each other, right? And my name is in the contract wrong, right? And you know, I want to be an asshole and I don't fulfill the contract, right? And then we go to court and then I look at and then the contract gets presented, right? I could say, I don't know who that is. My name is spelled Keon. My name is not spelled no Kion. I don't. What's that? Ain't my name. Could you do that? I mean, if it really came down to that.
Yeah, if they don't want to get a signature verified.
Yeah.
To see if you actually signed it incorrectly, because they can still determine, if that was, a document that you signed or not. But to get to your point, I would say so. It's outside my scope legally.
Yeah, I mean,
but I can just make the assumption to say if you spell your name wrong, it's the people that's on Gary Russell's team supposed to do their due diligence to make sure everything is good to go, especially the top line, especially the last line. You know what I'm saying? And Gary said on the first line, it said this, this, and this. And that's why they say it was a red flag. But if the name is wrong, I agree. Why can't you release yourself from that obligation? Why not?
Also, it had contingent on, right? Contingent means that once they take that back to the zone, right? Matchroom or whatever, it only can go down if they give if they say that they want to pick up the fight. Contingent on Matchroom and the zone or whatever, so it's not even contract or term sheet or whatever that's saying that they're not even agreeing to it. The network ain't even agreeing to it on there, right? Also, not only that is that they had in the term sheet or contract or whatever you want to call it, they had in there, right? Because I watched it on Barbershop Conversations. They went through the whole contract, the term sheet. They had in there that Gary Russell or Devin Haney, he couldn't agree to no other fight, right? After January. So after January, he wasn't allowed to agree to no other fight. And then they had in the contract that Devin Haney and Gary Russell had to fight by May of 2021, right? By May of 2021. But they had in there that Gary Russell couldn't agree to take another fight anytime after January. So what that lets me know, that what that seems like to me is that they didn't have plans. They had plans on making this fight later on. Because why would you have in there that you can't agree to no other fight after January, right? When the fight was supposed to take place on November the 7th. Now, I think both of them wanted to fight. Don't get me wrong. I think that Devin Haney and Gary Russell wanted to fight, right? Now, the networks wanting to put on that fight, I think that's a whole different story. Because why would you say, once again, why would you say, well, this and that, but Gary Russell, he can't accept another fight after January if their fight was supposed to happen in November?
It does seem disingenuous as far as what was being presented out here in the media. I mean, I saw everybody everybody had a hand in that. I saw you, I saw, LGBC, I saw everybody that had a hand in that. And, just for that information to come out and talking about he cannot, select another opponent after January, that tells me that this fight in 2020, it was never going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just like they kept Gamboa on the hook. Gamboa was on the hook. He never went anywhere. The fight date in November, it never went anywhere. I know Gary Russell's fight date was December 26th, but of course that was subject to change. It'd be difficult for us to see that, weighing in on Christmas. It would have been difficult, but I don't know, man. It just leaves a lot of, unanswered questions, real talk. And I'm just curious to see how that would have worked out for both fighters. Getting fights this year and then, setting themselves up for a fight next year. I don't think they'll ever fight now, man.
I think they'll fight, man. I think they'll fight. I think they'll both. We already know that Devin Haney's going to go on and fight Gamboa. I think that Gary Russell going to go on and fight Javier Fortuna. If both of those fights turn out like they wanted to, You know, if both of them win, I think that they then go on and fight each other, because I mean Gary Russell will be the mandatory anyway for Devin Haney's WBC title. And like let me make something clear, is I think that both camps and both sides wanted this fight. I don't think that DAZN wanted to fight. I don't think that DAZN wanted that fight. I think that they already had they planned for Devin Haney, and whatever happened, but I don't think that they wanted to fight. And on Gary Russell's end, he wasn't going to sign some shit that wasn't right, that Al Heyman told him wasn't right. So it's just as simple as that. So everybody needs to stop with this ducking and making these fucking videos talking about Gary Russell ducking this and ducking that. Stay out of that shit, okay? Because they wanted to fight each other. I never seen two fighters go to the extent that they did that really didn't want to fight. If a man really don't want to fight, you're not finna do all of that.
Correct. It was just so much going on, bro. It was so much going on. And I think both of them wanted to fight, but when it comes down to it, if it's contingent, that means it's nothing that's cement. It's nothing that's finalized. It's subject to change, man. That's what contingency means. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's dependent on something else.
And so you want this man to put his name on something that you're saying is a term sheet, first of all, but it's really a contract because it's legally binding, right? And then he ain't even guaranteed to get the fight if he put his name on there, right? And agree to all of that shit, because now he can wait around for you and you can still say, nah, you know, we're going to go ahead and fight Gamboa because we already had that on the table, or whoever. But your name is on the contract.
Yeah, your name on the contract. And just say if he put his name on the contract and he was just trying to say, okay, let me appease these people. Well, they decided to face Gamboa, but yet they locked him in and say, hey, Gary, you know, you fight this person this year, whether it be Javier Fortuna, whoever, and then we'll see what happens in January. You know, still he's obligated some way, somehow, that he's restricted not to pick another opponent until the zone comes up and decide if they want to pick up the fight in 2021. You know, it's just so much to deal with, so much legal legality to deal with, man. And I'm glad he just didn't sign it. You know what I thought a little bit too there, Keon, was that they were trying to make Al Heyman seem like he was an inept bit. You know, he was inept at doing his job.
Right.
But man, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. You know, he chose to take the advisor route strategically.
Right. But and another thing with it is, right, we can't forget that that in there it said that Gary Russell could not take no fight after January. He couldn't agree to take no other fight. So what if somehow, right, they like, okay, because if it says that once you sign, Devin Haney can still fight on his date, right? He can still fight in November. Yeah. And they can still sit you on the shelf from January all the way until May if they want to.
Absolutely. And imagine how bad that would be for Gary, who's on a mission to move up from 26 and 35, even though he hasn't vacated yet, you know, to get, you know, to start making these moves, collecting these checks, and fighting some big names. Imagine he was on the shelf half of 2021. Damn.
And then not only that, I mean, it's so much of shit that was wrong when they broke down the contract. Not only that, William Haney's name, Bill Haney's name was on it, but Devin Haney's name wasn't on there nowhere. So that's another red line. Why wasn't Devin Haney's name on there nowhere?
I don't know. I guess he's, you know, Gary Russell's supposed to fight, you know, Casper. I don't know, man. Come on, man. These people know how to do business. And it turned at first over Labor Day weekend. The energy was right. It seemed like this fight could potentially be made over social media the right way for the first time. With all the activity that was collectively, you know, inserted into this effort, it seemed like a positive. But when it comes down to the paperwork, that is what mattered. Boxers have to understand that.
Right.
Paperwork matters, especially when it comes to boxing. I don't care how many people are in the live chat. You need to make sure your people read that paperwork so they won't be laughing at you for a whole year, because you finally get in the ring in June or July because you've been on the shelf half of the year.
Exactly. And I see Boxing Logic. He says once you sign the term sheet, you have to fight. He says you have to fight, and the contract gets drawn up next to comply with the terms. But a term sheet is not legally binding. You feel me?
It's not.
It's just that you're agreeing to these certain terms, and now you could go on to a contract. Then the contract is legally binding. But so if it's a term sheet, it shouldn't say legally binding at the bottom of it.
Correct. People need to stop trying to make it a binding document just because it has to deal with Russell and Haynes.
Right.
And I sit up there. All you have to do is Google the definition of a term sheet, and it'll tell you non-binding in bold letters. You know what I'm saying? It don't become binding just because of social media. Come on, man. He did what was right. Gary didn't duck anybody. You know what I'm saying? He had to make sure the business was right. Boxing is a business first. Period.
Exactly, man. And then it's like, oh well, why? A lot of people saying like, well, why don't you just tell him what you want and then send it back to him? Why can't you just get the shit done right in the first place? You know that shit wasn't right. You know it wasn't right in the first place. Get it done right. Send it over to me. You know it wasn't right. First of all, your name wasn't spelt right. Is that professional? Get that legally binding shit out of there. You know that shit wasn't supposed to be in there. So get it done right, and then why do I gotta have my lawyers type something up when you the A-side? If you're the A-side, you're supposed to be getting the shit right, sending it to me.
Absolutely. That make a perfect point right there. If you're the A-side, all the T's should be crossed. All the I's dotted. You know what I'm saying? That shit should come over here, and everything that's been talked about on several platforms, and everything that's been spoken on should be in that contract, and all Gary has to do is have his people look it over, and then it's sent back. Period, man. And just like people need to understand about Deontay not signing $120 million. It was contingencies. It was two halves of that contract.
Right.
I need to stop saying he ducked. It was two parts to that contract.
Exactly. I don't even want to talk about this, but I didn't even want to talk about this. But at the end of the day, to shorten it up, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm gonna always go with what what's right. We know what's right. We know what's right. It's not about who you like and who you don't like. Right is right and wrong is wrong. It's simple as that.
Don't let ear hustling persuade you to lock yourself into a situation that's going to take possibly years to get out of. Ear hustling goes on every day, and you need to be smarter than that.
Right. Now, the Charlos, man, let me get your take. We got the big fights coming up this weekend. I know you've been talking about it. And Charlo, let me get your take on the Jermell Charlo Rosario fight.
Man, I'm really looking forward to this fight because it's a step-up fight, of course, for Jermell Charlo, man. They have their share of knockouts, okay? We seen Jermell do what he does, but, primarily we seen get knocked out again. But when it comes to Rosario and Charlo, we already know Mel can go into the later rounds and keep that same energy and keep that pace up, and his cardio is good and box. We know that. We know he can box on the inside too. That's my only curiosity with Rosario. Can he hold the pace? And what does his chin look like? Because he has been down before. He has been stopped. But also I want to see if Rosario's power is authentic. Does he have legitimate power that knocked out J-Rock that can affect Jermell Charlo? I really want to see that. But ultimately, I want to see both of these guys go in here and give a good boxing match. We don't have to worry about Jason Rosario losing track and complacency like Tony Harrison did. So I feel it's going to be a damn good fight, man. And, you know, I got Charlo winning. I just think he's a stronger fighter, better boxer. But I really think Jason Rosario trained his ass off to come in here and make it a fight, man. Real talk. I think he did. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let me get your take on the Jermell Charlo fight and Derevyanchenko. I mean Jermall. My bad. Jermall Charlo and Derevyanchenko fight.
It's all good, man. Jermell Charlo, Derevyanchenko. People may look at that fight as a wash for Jermell Charlo, but Derevyanchenko is a tough fighter, man. And I don't think he's coming in there at all to lay down. And people need to understand that might be a tougher fighter for Jermall than people think. Seriously. You know, Derevyanchenko has had 2 IBF, you know, championship fights to contend in, and then they moved him over to the WBC. So they're trying somehow, some way to get Derevyanchenko in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Somehow, but I don't think it's going to be against Jermell Charlo, but I do believe the fight is going to be competitive. I believe outside of what people are saying that Sergey is going to get knocked out, I don't think so, man. Once again, I believe it's going to be a good fight, and I think Jermell Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko might be a little tougher than Jason Rosario and Jermell Charlo. That's just my opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? But I do have Jermell Charlo winning that fight against Derevyanchenko, you know, because Jermell Charlo is not a Gennady Golovkin. Let's get that straight.
Right. And it is what you said, man. I agree with you on both ends. I agree with you. We talked about this on Blue Blood Sports TV earlier. You know, we was breaking this down. And what I had said about the Jermell Charlo fight to begin with, the Jermell Charlo, you know, well, let me go on Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario, I hadn't seen too much of him, you know, before he fought J-Rock, you know, and when he was going to fight J-Rock, I went and I watched a couple of his fights. And one thing leading up to the J-Rock fight that he, you know, that his, I think he did a little interview or whatnot. He said that he had never really had a training camp, a full training camp to really get ready. Said a lot of those fights he was taking, you know, on short notice, right? Because he didn't have a name like that. When you the type of opponent that he is, you know, a lot of these fighters do that. They don't have no training camp. They got to just be in shape and take these fights, you know, be on call. And so he said, you know, that's why he got, you know, the losses that he got, because he wasn't able to really train like that. Now, so I look at it and I'm like, I don't know too much about him, but I do know enough to know that he is capable of getting knocked out because he's got knocked out before. But then in his defense, I know that it's easier, you know, to knock someone out when they're not in full shape. You know, they can't recover as fast, right? Now, when you get in tip-top condition and tip-top shape, it's harder because you recover fast. Look at Erickson Lubin. Look how fast he recovered from that punch this weekend. And the only reason he was able to recover that fast is because he was in tip-top condition. He recovered fast like that. But when I look at this fight, overall, I look at the styles play out. And Jason Rosario is a fighter that's going to come at you. He throws everything with bad intentions. He's not, and he gets hit, you know. He don't have the greatest defense. He don't have the greatest movement, you know. He gets hit. And in there with somebody like Jermell Charlo, Charlo got a chin. So if we get in the battle of skills and chin, Charlo gonna win that. Charlo, because remember, Charlo was a boxer before he was a puncher. You know, he was a guy that knew how to move around and box you before he turned into a power puncher. So he could do both. You know, and we've never seen Jermell Charlo hurt at all. We've never seen him hurt.
Correct.
He got a granite chin, you know, for all we know right now. We ain't never seen him hurt. We've seen Jason Rosario hurt. We've seen him knocked out. So with that being said, I think that Jason Rosario is going to put up a good fight, but I think it's going to come down to skills and chin. And I think that Jermell Charlo is going to eventually get him up out of there. I think Jermell Charlo is going to win by a stoppage. I think, I see Jermell Charlo getting a stoppage in this fight, but I see it being a hell of a fight, That's a
solid point, man. And the only way that I would say that he gets a stoppage is the fact that people have to understand when they say Jermell Charlo is just going to go in here and knock out Rosario. He wasn't just going in there and knocking out Tony Harrison, okay? So Tony Harrison got complacent and started looking out into the crowd and just lost his directive, and Charlo made him pay for it. Now, we all understand that Jason Rosario don't have that Tony Harrison technique and his defense. I mean, he just don't. But if he chooses to stay in the pocket, which is better suited for Charlo, yeah, he'll probably get knocked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And salute to Money Brown TV off in the building. What's good? Everybody go subscribe to my brother Money Brown TV. Boxing Logic off in the building. And once again, everybody that's in the building, make sure that you subscribe to my boy Scotty White, World Combat Sports, off in the building, on the phone right now, cutting up, giving y'all the facts like he always do. And he do MMA too. So let me give my take on the Jermall. Jermall Charlo. Now, this was one, Scotty, I was going back and forth with. You know, I was having a hard time with this one because I'm like, Sergey Derevyanchenko he's not no push around. You know what I'm saying? He's not no bum. We've seen him in big fights before. You know, at 160, we still haven't seen Jermall Charlo in there with the highest level of competition yet. We still haven't seen him in there with A level competition, B plus level competition yet, you know. So one part of me was like, I don't know, this fight could be real tough for Jermall Charlo. But then I look at the matchup, right? Derevyanchenko, and he's talked about it. He said he's gonna bring the fight to Jermall Charlo. So Derevyanchenko is gonna be there to get hit. It all depends to me what Sergey Derevyanchenko we get in the ring. He's older. He's had a lot of amateur fights. You know, he's not old, but he is older. He's 34. You know, he's been in tough fights. Sergey Derevyanchenko, you know, all of his recent fights were tough fights. So he got some wear and tear on his body. You look at Jermall Charlo, he haven't been in many tough fights like that. He's fresh. He's the younger guy. So if we get a Derevyanchenko that comes in there that's kind of what I want to say, stale, you know, he's not, you know, on full 100. He ain't full energetic. He ain't on his A game. You know, he's kind of stale. He could get knocked out by Jermall Charlo, or, you know, but if he comes in there and, you know, he's energized, he on his A game, you know, he could give Charlo a very, very tough fight, I don't want to see that. I don't want to say that Charlo gonna knock him out. And the only reason I'm not saying that is because Derevyanchenko has never been knocked out before. I've seen him down. I've never seen him knocked out. So I can't put that on the man and say that he's gonna get knocked out when I've never seen him get knocked out. I say this all the time. You can't put that jacket on the fighter that's never been knocked out, you know? So when I pick this fight, I think it's going to be a tough fight either way for Jermall Charlo. I think that Charlo will get the victory. I think he'll win by unanimous decision, majority decision. I think he's going to get the victory. I don't see him knocking Derevyanchenko out. But, you know, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. You know, but I do got to go with Jermall.
I concur, man. Who do you think have the better last two opponents?
Oh, Derevyanchenko, without a doubt.
And that's exactly. So that's what I'm kind of giving him. Like, people need to wake up. Like, Derevyanchenko had the best last two opponents, man. Hey, I think it's going to be more competitive than people giving it credit for, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That's just me. I'm not saying Derevyanchenko going to go in there and get the victory, but his last two opponents, man, has been solid.
And this is
the bigger names on his resume as a Jacobs, Furtado Shot, and Gennady. You know, them solid names, man.
Right. And the thing about it is, but one thing I do gotta say is I think that Derevyanchenko has reached his peak. So we know what we gonna get out of him. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm Jermall Charlo and I'm studying him, I know I think I've seen the best of him, right? I still don't think that we've seen the best of Jermall Charlo. You know, Derevyanchenko, we know what we're gonna get from him. I think that we've seen the best from him. I think that his ceiling is not gonna go any higher as far as, you know, what we've seen from him in the ring. I mean, he had a storied amateur career. But yeah, Jermall Charlo, I for some reason I think Jermall Charlo is still getting better. So that's a plus for Jermall Charlo. Well, what do you think?
I can say the same thing, man. You know, once again, I'll link up with you on that because, like you said earlier, I'm just waiting for Jermall Charlo to step in there with a big name. You know, I know he was elevated, and as much as we would like for Canelo to come down to 60 and fight Jermall, Derevyanchenko is the right opponent for Jermall. You just can't say he's a nobody, he's a bum, all that. You can't say that about Derevyanchenko because for those true boxing fans, understand that he truly beat Triple G. He did, in my opinion. He defeated him. So this is a big fight, man, for Jermall Charlo. And then after that, you know, we'll see what else happens, man. Jermall Charlo needs bigger names at this stage in his career. I do think he's still improving. And we just have to see if he's not the next Charlo to take that L.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think them Charlos wanted to take an L any time in their career. But judging from Mel Charlo, he rebounded real nice. He came in with that lion, you know, that tenaciousness, and he took it to Tony Harrison and got the job done. I salute him for that. I would have liked for him to keep the same energy when he lost that he's always had, you know, sporadic, unpredictable, loud, you know, vociferous type of individual. He was quiet as hell after he shedded that tear. So, you know, they get to come back, man. So I got both Charlos winning, but Jermall Charlo, in a sense, he's always been telling behind Jermell. Period. He can call himself Big Charlo all he wants. But who's boxing first? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. It's hey, I just can't wait, man. It's gonna be a hell of a weekend, man. It's gonna be a long night of fights. It's so much stuff going on this weekend, man. The UFC too. UFC. Touch on the UFC a little bit, Scotty.
Yeah, man, they got a big fight card coming up. Mainly the two individuals that's in the main event, man, they undefeated. Israel Adesanya facing Paulo Costa, man. And I think Paulo Costa right now is you know, one of those guys where he's not as diversified of a striker than Israel Adesanya, who used to be a high level kickboxer. You know, even making to the championship ranks over there. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think he was gonna make it all the way to the belt without taking the L first. I just felt that he was a bit underdeveloped in mixed martial arts, but he proved me wrong. He went in there and beat some big names like, you know, Brad Tavares, man, Kevin Gastelum. You know, I mean, he had one of the most boring fights against Joel Romero, but you got to be very careful against Joel Romero, period, else he'll knock you out. And then he took the title from Robert Woodson, the former champion.
Right.
But Paulo Costa, you know, he defeated Uriah Hall, broke him down, took his punches to give punches. And then, you know, of course, it's going to be all about if Paulo Costa can take the punishment, the long-rangey striker as Israel Adesanya for 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Because Adesanya is going to break him down. If he's going to break him down, it's going to be over a period of the 3rd and 4th round. Because both of these guys can kick, they can punch. But I give the edge to Adesanya. He know how to keep his space. He know how to then, pick you apart. He's a sniper. And he has pretty decent takedown defense, bro. And that's going to be big. I mean, when it comes to mixed martial arts, you can be an individual that has good takedown defense. But what happens when you start to fatigue and everything and Costa finally gets the takedown? I think Costa Jiu-Jitsu is a higher level than Adesanya, but no one's really put him on his back like that and put him through adversity for a submission or a ground and pound. But I got Adesanya potentially winning that fight, breaking him down if he doesn't knock him out in the 4th round.
Man, I touched on this.
These guys are undefeated, bro. This is the middleweight fight. I'm telling you, it's PPV. UFC is $64, Keon. And, Jermell Charlo been $74.95. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot of people watching the UFC, dog.
Man, I know. Man, and this is my take, right? It's like I was talking about it earlier. Paulo Costa, man, he been looking real strong and vicious his last few fights. Adesanya, he kind of survived his last fight. To me, he looked like he was, he was hanging on to survive. He was, kind of using his movement and everything to survive. And Adesanya, man, he's hella talented. I want him to win, but I put it like this: it's just not a fight I would bet on. I don't know. It's not a fight that I put no money on.
Yeah, it's a hard way to lean towards one or the other because they're both undefeated. They're quality strikers. Usually you get one stand-up striker, just like you just seen with Kobe Covington and Tyrone Woodley. They were stand-up striking, but yet Kobe said, you know what, I'm going to go in and test his wrestling early. And he was able to get in on his hips and take him down and really do some damage on Tyrone and made him quit. Tyrone didn't hurt no rib. Tyrone gave up. He quit. You know what I'm saying? So I think with this fight right now, that's coming up this weekend, it's going to be a stand-up striking exchange of authority where it's whoever breaks down the other the quickest. I want to see if Paulo Costa is going to try to clinch on the cage, man. You know what I'm saying? Degrade and get tired. Get Adesanya tired early. If he can get Adesanya tired early, that'll slow him down. And he won't be able to use those kicks like he does from outside. So, yeah, that's my take on it, man.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. And as far as Tyron Woodley, I knew he was done because before his last fight, he did an interview. He was talking about retirement. In my opinion, when a fighter starts talking about retirement, they pretty much they pretty much got one foot out the door already anyway. And if you watch Tyron Woodley fight, he looks like a shell of himself. He hasn't looked good in a long time. And he got the AB syndrome. He got the AB syndrome.
Yeah, they say he got wrapped up in Hollywood. Yeah, they say he got wrapped up in Hollywood. He wanted to do some songs, so he put out that song "I Beat Your Ass," and that went around and made its round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not like it topped the charts or anything. But yeah, they say he got a little bit of Hollywood, and I think his training suffered, man. So Kamar Usman dominated him, Gilbert Burns dominated him. And then Kobe Covington, they had a real grudge match. They dislike each other for real. And Kobe just went in there and made them quit, man.
And I hated he let Kobe Covington out of all people do that to him.
Of all people,
man.
Right? All people. You should have left. You should have went out on your shield. You should be anything and everything possible. That fight was personal.
Man, I'm telling you, dog. Man, that's what really had me pissed off. I'm like, man, come on. Damn, Kobe, you let Kobe.
I never would have thought Tyrone would quit like that. I just didn't see it. I just know he was Hollywood, but him talking about, oh, my rib, man, come on, bro. You didn't have no rib injury. You quit.
What did he say after the fight? Did you hear him say? What did he say after the fight?
To be honest, I only watched clips of, just little snippets of it, and I knew he was gonna come up there and talk about, hey, his rib and all that. But my point is, during the press conference, you was up here promoting BLM every sort, but so now you're sending a message. So be a king of your word and go out on your shield. You're gonna represent a message and then go in here and quit. It's not a good look. Stand strong. Stand strong behind yourself and the message that you're sending. Fight to the damn death, man. Do what you have to do.
Right.
He just faltered, dog. He just gave up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He gave up. Man. It was, man, I hated to see that, like I said, man, especially to who it happened with. Man, if you don't lose to him, not him. Man.
Not him, man. For real.
Yeah, but man, that's I love how you cover both. I was big into the UFC at one point, but man, it just got too big for me. I couldn't keep up with it. So now I'm a casual fan. I'm a casual fan. I probably could have covered it back in 2000 and all the way from like the 90s up to probably like 2009. But then it started getting too big. Now, I listen to you for it.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. Like, it's tough covering boxing and MMA. I ain't making no excuses, though, but it is what it is. You still have to have an understanding from actually training in it and then just have an understanding of going to the gyms and watching these guys train.
Right.
And getting to know certain fighters and know what the heck you're looking at when it comes to mixed martial arts, because it's so deep. I mean, this sport is deep, dog. Like, the depth of disciplines one have to learn and defend against, it's just an unbelievable system. Unfreaking believable. So people need to understand, man, and start, the fans out there, start tuning in to some of these mixed martial arts bouts, because Dana White, they build in schools, they build in training centers all over the world. And that's something boxing has refused to do. You do not see huge boxing gyms where you can go there, sleep, and you can eat and train, repeat. Sleep, eat, train, repeat. You just don't see it. But, the UFC's opened up these UFC training centers all over the world, in different countries and all that, for fighters to come up there and sleep in a dormitory and train.
Right.
And eat there. You know what I'm saying? That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, man. And last but not least, let me get into this Terence Crawford situation, man, before I get up off here. So, Terence Bud Crawford, right? We hearing he gonna fight. We hearing for the longest that he's gonna fight Kell Brook. Now we haven't really heard too much from Kell Brook or Terence Crawford at all. He's supposed to fight in November. What is he gonna do? Who is he gonna fight? Did Kell Brook accept a 1.5 mil? I mean, what's really going down?
It fell off, didn't it? That energy fell off, didn't it?
Yeah.
The most energy that Crawford received was from Kerry Russell, calling him out and say, hey, I'll fight you for 145. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight you for 145. But then Keith Thurman snuck in through the window and talking about 10 million. But when it came to Kell Brook, man, nobody was talking about that. It was like, Kell Brook, he's going to come back to 47? I mean, what is this? We haven't heard any other word about that, bro. And that's puzzling to me. Like, what's going on, Kell Brook? When you going to let us know? Crawford? Come on, man. Let us know something. Is there a fight I want to see? Not really with the names that's out there, but could it potentially be entertaining, competitive? Okay. Jose Benavidez was competitive at points. You know, Mean Machine was competitive at points of the fight. but we know what names we want to see. And I'm gonna be honest, Keon, I'm not really mentioning freaking Bud and Spence anymore, especially in the fact that Porter may potentially fight the winner of Danny Garcia, Errol Spence.
Right. That's what we hearing now. That's what we hearing now.
Man. They really jacking Bud over.
Yeah, it's because
Bud jacking himself.
How can you go into a mega fight with Errol Spence, right? And this is not just a mega fight. This is a mega fight with two different platforms, a joint pay-per-view, right? Because it's going to have to be a joint pay-per-view. How can you go into a joint pay-per-view, right? And you ain't making no noise. You not doing nothing. See, the thing is that I had been saying way back when, right? I said that Terence Crawford is gonna have to go. His next fight is gonna have to be a big fight. As soon as he beat Green Machine or whatever dude name was, right? As soon as he beat Green Machine, Igis Kavalaskis, right? I said now it ain't no more Igis Kavalaskis type fights for Terence Crawford. I said Terence Crawford has to get a big name, or he got to get, one of these PBC guys on his resume next, right? I said the best fight for him is Manny Pacquiao. They weren't able to secure that Manny Pacquiao fight for him, right? I said, and this is the reason I was saying this, is because you got to build your fan base up, right? Because people know who Errol Spence is. Even if you don't really watch boxing like that, a lot of people know who Errol Spence is. He proven. He been on pay-per-view twice, right? He didn't have two successful pay-per-views, right? So now he doing what he got to do on his end. Now it's time for you to build your name up, And if we at one point we saw him talking on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all. Well, Twitter. We saw him on Twitter, right? We saw him keeping his name out there. Now he done went back and you ain't hearing nothing from him, right? And I know he got to train and focus on his training and whatever, but you got to get your name big, because if you out here screaming that you want an Errol Spence fight and you not doing nothing on your end, how do you think that these networks is supposed to come together, right? And these promoters are supposed to convince these networks that it's enough money to make a joint pay-per-view fight like they did with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, right? It's business behind it. You got to convince them to put the money up. You got to convince them that your name is big enough to hold weight with his name to make this a mega fight. Because if you can't do that, they're not going to make this fight happen. It don't matter what the fans are saying. Oh, he's scared and this and that. That shit don't matter. The fight don't happen if the networks don't see that it's enough money into it. That's just it. And shout out to John Pace. Shout out to Batman in the building. What's good with it?
That's good, Batman. Salute to you, bro. Yeah, I agree, man. You made a good point, Keon. I don't know why this brother is so quiet at this point in his career. I know he's a 3-division champion. I know he takes a lot of criticism. It comes in like the weather. If it was me and I have the potential to face Errol Spence in a big fight, being that, just like you just said, Errol Spence has proven to be PPV successful, I would be out here talking a bit more. I saw his guy, though, just recently on the podcast, the light-skinned dude to be advocating for, I don't know,
Bernie
Ben or whatever.
Bernie, I think his name is Bernie.
Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to know, what's going on. Are y'all trying to push Crawford's name out there to a brighter light amongst his fans, or do y'all not just care? Y'all don't care. Y'all just say, okay, whatever happened, happened. I don't know, man. I really can't say, but it would be good if he did come out. When I heard that people was out here like, oh yeah, the fight's gonna happen because Errol Spence say him and Crawford's been talking. I was like, that don't mean shit. That's like a term sheet.
Right.
And you turn around, they're moving Porter up in the WBO rankings. They have Porter damn at the top 1 and 2 besides what, the WBA, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So what are y'all thinking? We're not going to see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. If Porter is going to get a chance to step back in there and keep it in-house, I mean, come on, man. You don't see what's going on?
Real talk.
They fucking them over, and Crawford ain't doing too much about it, man.
And you know, word is out that they think that the Porter and Errol Spence fight is bigger than the Terence Crawford fight now. You know, so
Wow.
I mean,
that's crazy with him taking a loss already.
Yeah,
and they're putting it out there like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
As far as how I look at it, right? Boxing fans, if I look at it right, and I look at, okay, every boxing fan will somehow, if they pay for it, if they steal it, whatever they got to do, they'll watch a fight between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Every boxing fan will, right? But we know, Scotty, me and you both know that the biggest pay-per-view events, right, is when you get the casual fans to pay for it that don't really know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? When I have when I have my sister call me and like, hey, man, such and such is fighting. Hey, can I come over? And I know you don't watch boxing like that. You know what I'm saying? When that type of fan is calling, asking about, is such and such fighting? That's what you want. That's what they want with this Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight. And I don't think it's there yet. And it ain't because of EJ. It's because of Terence Crawford. And we just keeping it 100. When Wilder and Fury was fighting, the way they promoted that fight, they got the casual fan interested in that fight. I had people that I know that didn't know shit about boxing, and they calling me, hey, what's up with the is you gonna have the fights at your house? I'm like, nah, I'm finna go. I'm finna go out there to the fight. Oh man, shit, man, I'm probably bet I'm gonna buy it. And I knew people that was buying that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight that didn't watch boxing like that.
Okay.
Just off of the strength of the backstory and how they promoted it, and then I mean, I don't think that. For Terence Crawford and Errol Spence to do big numbers, because they doing the way that they looking at this fight, they wanted to do, a million plus. They wanted to do a million plus. Do you think it'll do a million plus?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They don't need to marinate. Look, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence don't need to marinate no more. Man, the press
I hope they don't.
Somewhat similar. Yeah, it'll be somewhat similar to Tony Harrison, Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? Both fighters can talk that talk. The one question I have, though, seeing Sean Porter come off that Famela performance, I mean, how many times are we going to see him go in here, Danny Garcia have an okay performance? Danny Garcia's performance is okay, then go in here and fight with Famela and
right.
do it okay. But yet, people just all flock in to see him fight the winner of Errol Spence Garcia when he put on a performance like that against Famela. The curiosity right now is Terence Crawford. People already done seen Sean Porter go in there and fight Errol Spence, and it was epic, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will absolutely do solid numbers, period. Or however you want to push the narrative, and people that just want to make Terence Crawford seem like his name is devalued. Hey, man, it's bigger than that. This fight would be great. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford would be great, especially if he was able to fight Pacquiao and get that WBA belt, and then they both went in there 2-2, 2 straps apiece. Oh yeah, it'll do a million.
I think this fight is great, like beyond great for the black fight fan. I think if they take this fight, say they do this fight in Dallas or Atlanta, where you got a big black fan base, man, this fight will blow up as far as the gate. Now, this is my thing, right? We know that every boxing fan, no matter what, is going to be tuned in, is going to, watch this fight, right? Now, my thing is that when Errol Spence going, if he beat Danny Garcia, which most people expected him to, go in there and beat Danny Garcia, and if he do it in impressive fashion, now Errol Spence is meat to meat, top 3, pound for pound. Wherever you want to put him, you got to put him in the top 3, right? Now, at this point in time, Terence Crawford still don't have no big name on his resume, right? Now you go into negotiations. Errol Spence got what? He still got the 2 belts, right? You go into negotiations, and Terence Crawford, we know that he hot-headed. We already seen him before say he ain't taking nothing less than 50-50. Now, they offered you 60-40 before. Now you ain't did nothing. Now I got 3 successful pay-per-views. What if they offered, you know what I'm saying? I'm being generous if I offer you 60-40. It could be 70-30, but I'm being generous if I offer you 60-40. Is Terence Crawford going to take it? That's the question. Is Terence Crawford going to take it?
I'm just surprised at Pacquiao. Like, in between the time of Errol Spence fighting Danny Garcia, man, I would have definitely liked for Pacquiao name to be linked up to Terence Crawford, because I do believe Terence Crawford can defeat Manny Pacquiao. I do believe that, especially if Manny's in testing. And like I said before, when you want to talk about 60-40, 70-30, 50-50, well, he have a bit more leverage to walk in there into negotiation if he had another belt. If you're going to allow Errol Spence to pick up 3 belts on your ass, okay, shit, your shit going to be 80-20. You know what I'm saying? Your shit going to be 80-20. You're going to be looking crazy out here.
That's what I'm saying.
You need another belt, Crawford. You need another belt, bro. Seriously, you need that WBA strap. And if you allow Errol Spence to come in here and fight Sean Porter, granted he beat Garcia, fight Sean Porter again, and just say he wins again, man, you're looking at minimal, for real. Seriously, and then get Pacquiao, we might not even see this Crawford fight to 2022, goddammit. I mean,
shit
there's
ain't
not going to be any point if you don't have that other belt.
It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good for Crawford out here, man. And it's like now, you know what I'm saying? We don't even know who he gonna fight. Is he even gonna fight Kell Brook? What's going down? What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Why is it taking so long to announce who he gonna fight? You saying he gonna fight in January, right? We know who Errol gonna fight. We already seen Sean Porter fight, right? We Danny Garcia, Errol already locked in. We seen Ugas fight. Right? Everybody out here getting work, but what you doing? That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know. But what's really going on?
Which fight you would like to see? Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, or Errol Spence, Bud Crawford?
Me? Of course, Errol Spence, Bud Crawford. By far.
Yeah, man. So,
but the fans,
the whole projection, the whole trajectory of Errol Spence is to do what right now? He's trying to unify the entire division.
Right.
You can't do that. I mean, I don't think the fight is going to do the numbers that they would like unless the WBA is scooped up by either party, either Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. It ain't no, okay, let me fight you, and then the last man standing, out of that matchup is going to fight Manny Pacquiao for all the marbles. That's what Manny Pacquiao wants, man. He wants to get the biggest numbers.
He want a cash out fight. He want a cash out fight.
Yeah, he want to cash out. He want to cash out with the finale, bro.
But see, this is my thing, though, right? This is my thing. We know that the boxing, the diehard. We know that. Let me say this: the black fan base wants Crawford and Errol Spence, right? But overall, the majority of the fans that don't know shit about boxing, the fans that's casual fans, the diehard fans, the overall fan, they want to see Errol Spence and Pacquiao, because if you put if you compare Errol Spence and Pacquiao fight right now to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight, Errol Spence and Pacquiao fight doing bigger numbers. And can't nobody tell me that it's not. I don't want to see Errol Spence and Pacquiao fight more than the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight. But I'm just saying overall, we can't just look at, us, this fan base. We got to look at the overall. Plus, you got a whole nother country.
The Filipinos, boy.
And Manny Pacquiao, like my man Boxing Logic say, he a legend. And let me get through some of these comments, man. I see y'all in the comment section. Batman, he say, why is he not fighting the top 7 welterweights? Kell Brook is DOE. Yeah, man.
Kell Brook, though.
Oh yeah. He let me see. Oh yeah, he said why he's not fighting none of the top 7 welterweights. Kell Brook though. Okay, Kell Brook. See, to me, a lot of people giving him shit about fighting Kell Brook. To me, with Terence Crawford, I'm like, shit, I'm satisfied with it just because who else he fighting? You dig what I'm saying? You fight somebody. Kell Brook had a big name at one time in the sport. Kell Brook, we still haven't seen him lose to nobody but the top level opponents, right? We ain't seen him fight nobody in years, but we ain't seen him lose, since he lost since he lost to Errol Spence. So a lot of people think that he's washed up, but we don't know if he washed up. But it's something. You feel me? It's something. I'd rather him fight Kell Brook than hop in the ring and fight Rosario Lopez or somebody like that. You feel me?
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
So I ain't gonna shit on him if he do fight Kell Brook, but shit, is you fighting Kell Brook? Fight him, somebody at least.
Somebody send up the SOS. Send us an SOS or something, a bat signal. Batman, where you at? Send us a bat signal, man, and see what Kell Brook at, bro.
Straight up, man. Hey, man. Hey, shit, man. Like, who fight somebody?
That's all we want to know. We just want to know what's going on with that matchup. Is it going to happen soon? Like, what's good?
Hey, and this is another thing I gotta say, man. If he don't fight Kell Brook and he end up not fighting nobody, that's gonna make Terence Crawford look a lot worse because Gary Russell was Gary Russell was calling him out man to man. I don't care about how small he is, none of that. He called you out man to man. So the only way you get a pass is if you already have a fight. If you fuck around and don't fight nobody, hey, that's gonna look real bad.
Real bad, man. Because that Gary Russell fight can do, okay, but still it's a name. You got Gary Russell out there, and just the simple fact of him moving up 4 divisions is going to bring people attention to tune into the fight. Period. So everybody, we seen, Terence Crawford face adversity, but people thinking that, Gary Russell moving up 4 divisions, it's an automatic cash in that he's gonna, get chin checked. You know what I'm saying? That's what they thinking because he's moving up. He's a smaller guy, but they need to factor in the boxing technique of Gary Russell. How smart his ring IQ is. And also they have to understand that Crawford's been hurt in more than one fight. We've seen it.
Right.
Period.
And this is another.
To understand, it's not a wash. This fight is not a wash, man. Like you said, if Terence Crawford don't take a fight this year, when Gary Russell put the offer out there, it's going to look extremely bad for him, man. And
Gary Russell's name is buzzing right now. What better time than to, let Gary Russell, come up and fight him. Gary Russell's name is buzzing. We literally got some boxing channels on YouTube. They devoting their whole day to shit on Gary Russell. They making video after video after video shitting on Gary Russell. But at the end of the day, you still talking about him, right? So you still keeping his name out there. You think that you shitting on him, right? But you still talking about him. So his name is buzzing. Whether good or bad, publicity is publicity. As long as they talking about you, you doing something right. When they stop talking about you, then you need to be worried. right? As long as they talking about Gary Russell, he doing something right. So they, like I said, we got boxing channels that's taking time out of their whole day to make video after video, trying to pretend that Gary Russell's ducking and he a bitch and he that. You still talking about the man. So whatever you doing, keep doing it. Because you building his name, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't got to put all the work in. So keep doing it. But, shit, his name ringing. Why would you fight him if you ain't fighting nobody else? Something is better than nothing.
Why wouldn't you give us that fight?
Yeah, something is better than nothing.
I totally agree, man. And one thing I can say about that Russell family, man, nobody in that family a bitch.
Straight up.
It's just extremely disrespectful for anyone to say that, Gary is a bitch for not doing this and that. No, it's business at the beginning and the end. So he has to make sure, checking with his family, who they will always tell you they move like a unit. You know what I'm saying? They will always tell you they move like apex predators. I've talked to them on several occasions in person. I got mad respect for the Russell clan. No matter how he brought out the trash talking, I didn't find it offensive to the point where people should sit up here and just frown upon it, because you can't praise Muhammad Ali and all these other people who trash talk, and then all of a sudden you get Gary Russell come out here calling out Terence Crawford first, 4 divisions up, and all he said, hey, yeah, we got some history in the amateurs, this, that, and happen, but at 1.5, I'll fight you for that. And then it went around, it went around the carousel. But I like the trash talk. It had social media buzzing. I think it was good for his name, being he fight once a year. And it did him justice, man. It was one of the busiest 2 weeks I've seen on social media for 2 people ever.
Man.
I'm not going to lie. For 2 people connected to try to make a fight ever.
Yeah,
Bill Haney, all the media hosts, everybody who has played a role in interviews and stuff like that, man, it would have been great for the fight to happen. But real talk, we need to let that go.
Yeah, it was epic.
It was good for business, and that's what it is, man. He ain't no bitch. Nobody in his family is bitch.
It's crazy because, a dude to get on the internet and get behind a camera and say anything, you know what I'm saying? But we know, Scotty, you out here at these fights just like I am. We know a lot of these dudes that get on here talk hella disrespectful and say all of that shit, is they doing it is because they know they're not going to ever be seen at none of these events. Wherever they at in their mama's basement, wherever they at, that's where they going to stay at. They know you know what I'm saying? You know what it is, man. And like I said, I've never seen nothing bitch made about Gary Russell, none of the Russells. I ain't never seen nothing bitch made out of them. And that's just keeping it 100. So,
Yeah, definitely you put respect on his name after all the interviews that took place, man. Batman and, Bill Haney, all that. Going over the Labor Day weekend, all throughout the week, this, that, and the other. It's time to let that go and move on. He's facing Javier Fortuna. Let's start bigging up the Javier Fortuna and versus Gary Russell fight, and Devin Haney versus Gamboa. All the other stuff, that's old news. That's stale. He ain't ducking nobody. He called out everybody he wanted on his list, his roster. He made it perfectly clear, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? That's what that shit's about. Period.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to see him would have got that fight with Crawford, just for the risk taking. See if it could potentially be done. See what the intrigue and the suspense could be. But unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, man, it would have been it like the way that Gary Russell's name is ringing, the way that Terence Crawford name is out there, that people just want to see him fight somebody. That would have been a big fight. The fight would have been big. I guarantee you it would have been bigger than anybody else that Terence Crawford gonna go and fight, if he even do fight. But as far as the situation, John Page, Batman says, Bill need to know how to do big business. Man, we talked about that earlier in the show. You know, me and we talked about that already early in the show. And yeah, the contract wasn't right. It's no more, you know, we talked about it. I broke it down a little bit. I don't know if you was in here, but you know, the shit was fucked up. Period. You know.
They keep saying you sent everything he asked for when it wasn't, man. That individual needs to stop putting that narrative out there, man. Like he's speaking to freaking grade school kids. We grown adults. You know what I'm saying? We've been in boxing for quite some time, so we know what was out there. The contract has been out there. So why you keep saying you sent him everything he wants? Obviously, it wasn't everything he wants because the contract didn't get signed.
And this is my thing, man. You know, and I don't even it ain't even my business. You know what I'm saying? That's their business. Getting into it, but this is my thing, man. We all grown ass men, you know, and Bill be coming off hella disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to people just any type of way, you know. And that's my thing. Like you can't come on to people's shit and just talk to them any type of way. So you know that's another thing to me. You know, if you're gonna talk business, if y'all gonna talk business in public, be respectful. You ain't gotta, you know, do all of that extra shit. You know, you don't gotta do all of that. Can't nobody talk to me like that. That's just me as a man.
I agree, man. I don't know where all this. I'm not used to that type of energy. You know, receiving it and not giving it back. You know, I understand. You know, certain people on a different level when it comes to boxing, but you know, I'm a grown man too, me and him the same age, and it just comes down to, you know, mutual respect. You know, if I'm not getting it from you, then, you know, I gotta convince you to give it to me.
Right.
You know, if you're not gonna, you know, be mutually respectful off the rip, then, you know, I try to have decent, cordial conversation, but not everybody in that mood, you know, initially. You know, we're in a world right now where you speak sensibly, man. People think it's kindness. They take it for weakness, man. They try to walk on your neck and say you're a chump and you soft and all that. But that's not even the case at all. It's just, you know, we want to be in control of our character. We ain't trying to let you, you know, dictate when and how we jump out of a character. But damn, you know, when people spoken to like some of these cats spoke on here, like you said, Keon, they're not going to show up to the fight. You know, some of these cats is behind these screens, man. They won't show up to the fight, man. They're not going to do it.
Man, when I thought I had seen it all, man, some of these dudes is hella disrespect. Hella disrespectful. Knowing if they seen Gary Russell in public, knowing, hey, Mr. Gary, Mr. Gary, can I get your autograph? You're not finna act like that. If you're not gonna act like that when you see the man, why are you acting like that over the internet? That shit, that type of shit, man, bothers me. Like, why are you?
Man, he would get his ass pulled up. It ain't no way he gonna walk up there and say that shit to Gary Russell, Antonio, or even the other brother. It ain't gonna happen, bro. It just ain't gonna happen. It's no way possible. I mean, that's why I say, come on, man. Let's be realistic. You would not approach them like that in person. Seriously. And you know, you kind of taken away from yourself when you call yourself boxing media. If you finally see him in person, you think that's going to be the time to give him an apology?
Right.
No. You should have gave him an apology a long time ago, you know, and said, you know what, I didn't mean anything personal from the fame of your name, but when you keep on defaming the man's name every day, and that's just disrespectful. It's personal. This man got a family. You know what I'm saying? His family is different. The Russells are cut different, man. They're the first family of boxing, in my opinion. I always refer to them to that. But, hey, man. Hey, these cats cut from a different cloth, man. For real.
Yeah, man. They is for real. They really are, man, for real. But like I said, I think that speaking about the Gary Russell and Devin Haney, like I said before, man, I think they're gonna fight. You know, I think they're gonna fight down the road. And when they do fight, I think the fight will be bigger than what it is now. because and I think it's better for both fighters. I think it's because you get to see Gary Russell at 135. He gets to fill out the weight division. He gets to see how he, is at 135. He gets to get acclimated to the weight. And then on Devin Haney, on his end, like I was saying earlier today on Blue Blood, he coming off a shoulder injury. Ain't nowhere in hell, if I'm Team Devin Haney, I'm putting him in the ring against Gary Russell Jr. at off of a shoulder injury, and I haven't been in the ring and fought nobody yet. Ain't nowhere in hell. So for him, he gets to go in there, fight somebody else, Gamboa, that's coming off an injury himself. And Gamboa is coming off a more severe injury because Achilles injury to me is a lot worse than a shoulder injury when you're dealing with somebody that's 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? A 22-year-old is going to heal way faster and way better than a dude that's like 39 with an Achilles injury. That's a whole different story. So, put him in there. Let him see how he gonna look. We expected Devin Haney to do his thing. We expected Gary Russell to do his thing, and then build a fight, because now the fight has been building. It's been building between the two camps. You got all these clowns on the internet being disrespectful, but it's still building the fight. And then it's going to be a much bigger fight than it already is. And that's just a fact. All they got to do is go out there and win and perform.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. I don't know which outfit persona we're going to get, but still, it's going to be a good fight because both of these guys have had free press, so to speak, on here, a lot of it. And I think it was healthy for the first time to really get a collective effort of media outlets being able to put these two fighters' name out there, Russell and Haney, to build them up to a point where no matter if they're fighting separate opponents right now, still a lot more people tuned in and know who they are now than what they did previously. And I think it was effective in a lot of ways. Is it going to be able to, will it be able to reciprocate for other fighters to come on here and do that? They need to. But I'm not sure if their trainers going to put much emphasis, but the fighters themselves, if you know the ones that are genuine, hop on here and get your name out there. Get that exposure out there, man.
Right, right.
Shit. Let's talk. Let's talk. Shit. Let's do it again.
Scotty, before I get off here, I think Batman calling in. I think he want to address something. Let me get him on the line.
All right, for sure, man. Hey, take it easy, man. Y'all be sure to show up to Keon. Everything, boxing, sports, in the building. Salute, and thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, yeah, Scotty White, you already know. And everybody, like I said, go subscribe to World Combat Sports. He don't only do boxing, he do MMA, and he an expert at both of them. Go subscribe to World Combat Sports. And I appreciate you for joining me.
Salute, Keon.
Salute. All right. Let me see. All right, Batman, go ahead and call back in. Go ahead and call back in, Batman. Yeah, but boxing logic, I see what you're saying, but man, that dude is a clown. Like, if anybody don't think that dude is a clown, you might need to question yourself. Anybody that don't think he a clown, dude is a clown. See how he be talking. He get on every live, coked up, drugged out. Dude is a clown. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. The Raiders must have won. My bro, I texted him earlier talking shit about the Raiders. Now he all up in my text messages going off. They must have won. I missed a good one. Oh well, but let me see. Yeah, Batman, if you still in the building, you call back in. But yeah, man, it's a lot of shit going on in boxing. And The backstory is what makes a fight big. It's the backstory that builds a fight. It makes the fight big. You know what I'm saying? I looked at this Jermell Charlo Jermall Charlo pay-per-view, right? And I know them. We know them because we diehard boxing fans. But it just didn't feel right having this on pay-per-view. Because if I'm not a diehard boxing fan, the build-up ain't right because it ain't no backstory to either one of these opponents. Hold on. Batman, what's good with it?
Yo, what's up, y'all?
What's happening with you?
I'm cool, man. You know, Boxing Logic wanted me to get on to explain the situation. Everybody saying that, man, the situation is, you know how to do business, man. And then it's still messed up that a lot of people wanted us to sign that contract. I mean, that term sheet. And then now, to save Bill Haney ass, Eddie Hearn keep on getting on here talking about the shit was written off. But on the term sheet, y'all ain't written off on nothing. Come on, man. We not into that, dog. We into doing straight business with people, dog.
Because the term sheet or the contract, whatever it was, it said contingent on Matchroom and DAZN, meaning that
and the WBC.
Contingent on WBC, Matchroom, and DAZN. And what that means, contingent means that if they decide to pick up the fight, they don't have to pick up the fight, only if they decide to pick it up. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
And then another thing, the whole the whole term sheet, or it was supposed to be a term sheet, it said legally binding. Now, like I said earlier in the show, a term sheet, right? It's not supposed to be legally binding. A term sheet is just these are the terms. If you agree to these terms, you sign this, and when you sign this, then we'll send you a contract. That contract, then when you sign that contract, that's legally binding. A contract is supposed to have the wording legally binding in it, not a term sheet.
Yeah,
right?
Not a term sheet.
Because if you
you're right.
if you sign this so-called term sheet that they saying that's a term sheet, right? But it has legally binding in it, right? Now, if they want to be technical, you signed it. Now you locked in to those terms that's on that sheet because it says
on the sheet.
Legally binding.
Then the dude spelled his name wrong. Devin name not even on it. Come on, dog. And then he talking about he been signing shit for Devin since he was 16. Devin not 16 no more.
Hey,
Devin
man.
ain't not 16 no more.
Yeah, the name thing just had me, man. I was laughing. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was laughing. He said, "So, Bill, do you sign so you usually sign your name wrong?" Yeah, I spell my name wrong sometime. Yeah. What? So you spell your name wrong on purpose sometimes? Come on, man. But then the thing to me is, don't nobody want to hold him accountable for the shit that he's doing wrong.
You saw the only person who was holding him accountable on the platform was Tyson.
And like I said, man, shout out to everybody.
I fuck with 7-8, I fuck with Blue Brothers, but you niggas not holding this nigga feet under the fire, man. Then he came over and said, fuck the LGBT. Y'all ain't even say nothing about that. Come on, man. He said the rapper shit on that joint, man. Niggas ain't say nothing to him. Like, man, who the fuck is Phil Haney? He's just a nigga that got a little bit of money with a son that will be famous one day. He's not famous now. He's all right. He will be famous one day, I guess. But that shit don't make the man.
You know what I'm saying? If you listening and whatever it is, overall, everybody need to hold anybody accountable when you hear some shit that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat everybody on an even level. You know what I'm saying? If a man ain't doing some shit right, you got to let him know about it, whoever it is.
Man, straight up, man. Like I said, if I was wrong, I was wrong. He wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want us to snap something just to see it fight. Come on, dog. We not fighting.
You cutting out, Batman.
I mean,
yeah.
My fault. I was like, man, my brother going there and risk his life to fight, dog. We fight for the fans, but we not fighting for the fans that much. That the business ain't gonna be right.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, like I said, man, that ain't none of my business. That ain't none of my business. I don't do no boxing contracts. I don't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my business. But the thing is when I'm following and I'm watching this whole shit play out, it's plain and simple. To me, I know when one man is saying some shit and then they'll change it up, and then you doing too much. Keep it 100. Keep it straightforward. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, that shit go through one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? Keep it 100. Keep it straightforward. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It ain't no in between.
That's what I'm saying, man. We was keeping it humble. Never seen me come on here and trash Bill Haney or his son. Never seen me, you know what I'm saying, when they did that backstabbing, all that creep shit. You never really seen me come on here and dog them about that. I just kept it boxing. But you not gonna sit here, fake go on the platform and go on my brother like that, talking about here, Doug, he don't know how to do business, this and that. Nigga, you don't know how to do business. You fake put a contract together. You try to put a contract together with what you seen. Got somebody to put the shit together and send it over. Come on, dog. When Drew Titan was asking you about is a term sheet legally binding, you like, I don't know. But come on, man, you don't even know the business.
Yeah, I mean, you know, shit just crazy to me, man. It's crazy that you know the reason why that this couldn't get done. The reason why, you know, and I know I heard everybody saying, well, why don't Gary, you know, why don't you tell him, you know what I'm saying, what you want right in the contract? But Gary ain't the A-side. This is my opinion. I ain't speaking for nobody else. I speak for myself. If somebody else say some shit, you know what I'm saying, that I don't agree with, I'm gonna let you know. That it is what it is. You know, everybody ain't gonna agree on everything. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thing. If you the A-side and I'm coming over to fight you, right? You ain't coming over to my platform, right? You get the shit right. That you know, first of all, you know your name wasn't spelled right, right? That's one thing you get right, right? And then you get the shit right and you send it back to me. And then you ask me, okay, now do this look right this time? I didn't took the legally bounded. You know, I mean, you get it right. You get it right and you send it back to me.
Get the zone and them to sign off. Just like any other time. When we got to do business over here, PBC sign off the break. Showtime shine off the break. Everybody is in. So you're not going to send us nothing that you know what I'm saying, our lawyer or Mr. Al Heyman saying is some bullshit. Who you think we going to listen to? We going to listen to y'all or we going to listen to our lawyer and Mr. Al Heyman?
And another thing is like, okay, right? You so basically, are you saying that Gary Russell, like people saying that Gary Russell need to get with his lawyer, have his lawyer type up a term sheet, right? A term sheet, and then send it back to them to let them know, or send it back to y'all to let y'all know what he want? Why would he have to do that? He ain't in control of the fight.
Listen, he was telling us the red line the term sheet, but you can't redline that. That's a contract, dog. That's
Legally,
a term sheet over.
yeah. Legally binding is a contract.
Yeah. So if we would sign that, we'd been in trouble. Come on, dog.
And then why would you go if you being advised by Al Heyman, right? Why would you go against Al Heyman when he told you specifically the shit was fucked up? And that's what Al Heyman does. I mean, Gary Russell is a very intelligent man, but he ain't a lawyer. He's not an advisor. That's what he has people that's what he pays people to do. So why would you go against? Go ahead, Batman.
We ain't go against it. We stuck on. You see me stuck on my 1-2s, man. I stuck on my all 10s, man. We stayed 10 toes down.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. The fans that's like, oh, sign the contract. I'm saying, why the fuck would y'all go against some shit that the man Al Heyman that they made billions and billions, right, in the sports industry and the music industry, told you that the shit was fucked up? Why would you go against him? Because a fan is telling you that, oh, you signed it. Why don't he just sign the contract? Man, it's bigger than that.
Man, look, man, like I said, we fight for the fans. We're not going to listen to the fans when something fucked up, because you're not going to do it. If you was in our position, you'll be the same. No, hold up. Let me say this. But some people do sign their lives away, man. We not them people. We not them people. If something is not right, we're not signing our life away for nothing. But not for no money we didn't even want.
Right.
We didn't even want that money. We wanted more than that.
Right. And Boxing Logic, he said also Bill Haney has been talking loud and angry on platforms. Like I said, man, it's one thing coming on platforms talking loud and angry, and it's another thing getting disrespectful, right? You know what I'm saying?
And look,
you getting disrespectful.
Go ahead, Ken.
Oh no, I'm just saying you getting disrespectful, and I can't speak for nobody else, but ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't come on people's shit. I don't give a fuck what you got. And I met Bill Haney. Bill Haney, like I said before, I always spoke highly of Bill. I've always spoke highly of Bill. I didn't met Bill Haney. I didn't chopped it up with Bill Haney. When I met him, he was cool as hell. Cool in the fan. So I don't have no problem with Bill Haney. Like I said, Bill Haney, in my book, from what went from the experience that I had with him, he a cool ass dude. I met him. But from what I'm seeing all of this play out, you can't be disrespectful like that, to other men. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you respect another man until he disrespects you and get out of line. But you coming out on these platforms and talking to people any type of way, you know what I'm saying? Like you they boss or something. All right, that shit, you can't come on. You couldn't. Nah, that shit wouldn't slide with me.
Like I said, y'all, look at this, man. The dude. Go look at the interview with Drew Titan. I told him when Bill was gonna come on, what he was gonna do. I said he's gonna get loud, then he's gonna play the brother role, then he's gonna when we're trying to talk, he's gonna try to out talk, but you can't get your point across for people can only hear his side. Oh man, look, man, that's why I went on mute, and it's time for me to talk. Nigga, let me talk. I let you talk. I let you get your point across. But your point, you keep saying the same shit.
And shout out to Drew Titan, man. Bringing, doing his thing, bringing great shows. And man, I know y'all gave my man a migraine. Man,
Bill gave him a migraine. Bill
God.
trying to talk to that man like he was his child, and that man wasn't having that.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Drew.
He tried to respect Bill as much as possible.
Right.
You saw it in Drew's face, man. Drew was about to go off.
Oh man, I'm telling you, he held his composure, man, And big ups to Drew, man, because I couldn't have did it, man. I couldn't have did it. We would have been, hey, that shit would, my live would have been, my live would have blew up and went viral. Cause man, hey, I can't do it. I can't hold my temper that good.
Come on, man. The man would just ask you simple questions that you wouldn't answer. When he was talking about that contract, you wasn't trying to answer none of that shit. The man got the contract in the face now, but you still go on Arkeed, and then Arkeed still pushing the bullshit narrative. You just saw the truth. Now he's still pushing the bullshit narrative. That's how I know them niggas fake. Them niggas only want headlines. You know what I'm saying? Dante Boxing Nation. He's fake. He only want headlines. Come on, dog.
But one thing I do gotta say, Batman. Hey, like I said earlier, keep letting them do it. Let them post a million videos about y'all. Let them talk bad. Let them talk bad, because at the end of the day, they're keeping your name out there. And we know, and you know, at the end of the day, that this internet shit ain't real. All of that disrespectful shit that they talking, it ain't real. Because if you can't get to give the same energy to a man, you know what I'm saying, in his face that you do on here, you know, we know what it is. It ain't real. Don't do it at all.
I know these niggas are bitches. Hey, Keon, I know these niggas are bitches, but I can tell the way they talk, man. They don't know how to talk to men. Men talk to each other with respect.
Right.
But the only time a man ain't talking to each other with respect if they about to go to war with each other. Other than that, men talking with each other with respect, man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if we not saying eye to eye. We're gonna talk to each other with respect until it goes there. And when it goes there, it goes there. But on this shit, like the dude H Money, he be blah blah blah. But the nigga still calling my phone. The nigga still sending shit to my DM. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what type of nigga is this?
Well, I mean, he know what it is. If I ever see him in public, he know what it is with me. You got one time to disrespect. You got one time to disrespect me, and you know what I'm saying? He got that one strike and he already out. When I see him, but I ain't gonna never see him in public, so I don't even put too much into it. I'm not even putting too much into it. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know he's never gonna come in public. Come on, man. Look at the dude. The shit, how he be talking, let anybody know with common sense that he's never gonna come in public. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never coming nowhere to none of these fights. He never gonna be seen.
Yeah, why ain't Lord never ain't his brother? Why you ain't coming to the fight to support? I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, even with him, the dude just still calling my phone. The dude just Slim. I can show you the joint on my DMs. I can. The dude just keep sending this shit to my DM. Why you keep doing that, dog?
I already know,
man.
But you gotta, you gotta let drug addicts be addicts, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let addicts be addicts, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, he get high off that powder and everything else he be on, and you know. Hey, he get high off that powder and everything else he be on, and you know it's full force from there. He really think he's Superman, you know.
I guess, man. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was in California. He lived in California. I just found out he lived in Memphis.
And did you? We know, you know what I'm saying? We real ones. We know clown. We know clowns when we see them. You know what I'm saying? You know, it don't, you know, we know clowns when you see him. And Bill Haney and them, you know, Devin Haney and them, you know, really they laughing at his ass. I mean, come on now. I'll be willing to bet anything that they just think that he's comedy. You know what I'm saying? They like, okay, we gonna let him.
Man, they don't think he's comedy. They love he ride for him like he's ride for him.
They could not think that the nigga's comedy. They gotta look at him and be like, okay, he riding for us, he putting our name out there, so we gonna let him keep doing what he doing, but we know he a clown.
when he do something, which car they gonna try to separate themselves from? So,
oh, that's gonna happen.
You know
That's gonna happen, but you know, you can see that he's the type of dude when they do separate themselves from him, he gonna be, you know what I'm saying, he gonna go get suicidal, he gonna, you know what I'm saying, he gonna be wanting to kill himself, you know, that's the type of character I could look at him and tell. But you know, enough about that clown.
If Bill Haney piss on that nigga and tell him his rain, he can look up and see Bill Haney piss on him, and he's still gonna believe his rain.
Yeah, man.
That's the type of shit I look at that dude at now, man. Cause like one day I'm on that show, he talking about, man, don't talk about Bill like I'm like, Bill was just talking about me like that on y'all show. Why you ain't telling the same thing? Man?
He don't even know them like that though. He don't even know them like that. Man, they hooked him up with because he was always screaming for him, always ever since he was on the Boxing Voice. And then, you know, I think one night Fred was like, man, you go so hard for them. I'm gonna hook you up with him. And then that's how, and that wasn't too long ago. That was about like what, 2 months ago?
Oh, that's how they got hooked up.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden he running around acting like he didn't known them his whole life and shit.
It's different, man. My brother's been together their whole life, so
I already know. But that whole thing, man, that's why I say, man, dude, if you really dudes like that, man, you really got, you know what I'm saying? You real cats like us, we just gotta laugh at that shit. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta laugh at it because you know he
just got with them like you learn. I'm learning something from you.
Yeah, they ain't had no idea who he was. They didn't have no idea who he was until Fred, you know, hooked him up.
That shit crazy.
So you thought you thought he was really part of that camp and all of that? You thought like he had just?
I just thought he was. I thought he could go to their sessions at any time. See, I thought he lived in California.
Nah, man.
That's what I thought, man. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm new to this shit for real.
See,
I mean, I look at y'all. I was new to H Money. I got him from Fred channel when he was talking about my brother, and I had to call back and be like, "Hold up, so this the fuck." You know
right. I seen that. See, I didn't even know who. See, I knew who he was from watching the Boxing Voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be watching the Boxing Voice.
I don't really watch the Boxing Voice.
Yeah, see, I used to watch the Boxing Voice in the morning. Like, you know, they used to have I don't know if they still do, but they had a morning show, you know, that came on for a while. And I would tune in sometime in the morning and he would call in every morning screaming. I'll be like, who is this motherfucker screaming loud as hell talking about Mr. DAZN? And you know, and I just thought he was, you know, I was like, man, who is this motherfucking clown screaming and shit all the time? So, and then, you know, I'm watching Fred's show one night and I had it on, but I wasn't watching the screen. And I heard him come in and I'm like, is that same cat that used to be over there on the Boxing Voice? And then it was, and then, you know, he'd be on Fred's shit every night. But other than that, I never watched none of his shit. I never seen none of his stuff. And then he popped up in one of my lives one day. He kept asking me to come in, so I let him in or whatever. You know, he wasn't disrespectful. He was respectful or whatever, whatnot. And then shit, that's about it. I had seen him. He popped up on my YouTube one morning. This was like last week or the week before last. He popped up on my YouTube. So I'm like, let me go in here and see what he's talking about. And he in there talking like hella disrespectful about Gary. Oh, that nigga, that bitch ass nigga, this and that. So I'm like, man, clicked in. I think he had a link in there, and I clicked in on the link. And I'm like, man, hey, he got hella loud. Oh, bitch ass nigga on. Okay, all right. Say no more. Because if I ever see you, I'm rearranging your jaw. For real, say no more.
I can't do nothing but laugh at the nigga down, man, because Like I said, man, if I ever run a talk, it's gonna go down. But I don't care if the police listen to none of that shit. It's gonna go down, man. I don't give a fuck, cause that dude, man, he died, man. I fucking want to fuck him up, man.
Yeah, you don't talk to no other grown men like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't talk to no other grown men like that. Especially, you know what I'm saying, men that ain't never did nothing disrespectful to you, ain't never disrespected you. Gary Russell ain't never had said nothing. Gary Russell don't know who the hell he is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he came on the show one day and disrespected my brother. But, you know, like I said, man, you know,
I seen him on Fred's show, and he was telling Gary, I think they was on camera together. And he was telling Gary on the phone.
Gary was on camera.
And he was on the phone.
Gary was on camera, and he was on the phone.
Yeah, he telling Gary.
He got off the phone with Bill Haynes. And then Ace Money called and talk and get to talking real reckless. And
yeah.
He's like, damn, you sound like you a gangster. And then he started fake. What you mean? I'm a gangster? I was trying to get Fred to get me back on there. And then one day he on the joint talking about my brother real bad. And I'm like, I called in. I'm like, Fred, man, why don't you get the dude back on the phone, dog? The dude that was just on the phone, get him back on the phone. And then Fred put him on the TV. And he just gets the face. Man, look, man, we really. And then that's when I found out, dog, he was a bitch. When I found when it clicked in that he was a bitch, I told him, look, you get 20,000, because he got to talking about what he got and shit, right? So I'm like, look, on Drew Titan, I tell him, look, you get 20,000, I get 20,000, and I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. And if I don't stop you, you can get 10,000 back. Then when he fake trying back be my friend, like, man, we gotta do that behind the scenes. He copping out so bad.
Hey, I'm laughing because you ain't even gotta say it, and I already know. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, you know, I was out of it. I didn't mean that, you know. He told one of my partners. Dude told one of my partners, "Hey man, you know, I was high, man. I was on drugs and stuff when I told you that. I was high, I was on drugs and stuff. You know, man, I didn't mean that, man. The drugs be having me. All right, well, you know, you fuck around, get the drugs beat up out your ass."
That's when I found out he was a bitch, man. That's when it clicked to me. Oh, this nigga bitch.
He, you know, I mean, he don't even got to take that route. He could have just because see, like when he used to just be screaming loud, kind of like promoting boxing. Like, stick to that. Stop trying to play that tough shit. Stop calling, you know what I'm saying? Stop disrespecting men. Stick to the screaming to the top of your lungs, acting like you promoting a WWE event. Stick. That's your genre. Stick to that. All that other shit, you out your league, because now you can't come out your house. You know what I'm saying? No matter how bad you want to go to one of these fights, unless you got it, you know what I'm saying? Unless you got what you say?
I said, especially if they fight. Because Gary about to fight Javier Vitona. He's about to be motherfucker Devin Haney mandatory. So if you ever come to a fight, straight up.
Yeah, it's man. Unless you got Floyd Mayweather security with you, you ain't coming out.
If you got Floyd Mayweather security with you, they can get it too. Shit, man. Shit don't mean nothing.
It's, you know, it's like I said, when you disrespect other grown men and continue to do it, you know, hey, you took it to another level. Now it's more than just internet shit and boxing. See, to him, you know, he over the internet, he's safe. He in his safe haven. A lot of these dudes do that shit, you know, they're over the internet, so they feel free. They feel that they can disrespect, you know, anybody. It's cool if you're willing to disrespect.
You know, the nigga channel called Gusto. Gusto was with that shit, but when I found out he from the DMV, nigga, I can come where you at. He calmed that shit down.
Yeah,
nigga, I can come where you at. You out of Virginia? I come out there. Come on, man. I grab some of my little soldiers and come right out there. Man, that shit don't be about nothing.
Nah,
niggas, man, I swear.
It really don't. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta tell yourself like these dudes is just doing that because they over the internet. If they wasn't on the internet, we was face to face.
I found out the dude Gusto in my urges. When I found out and said I'd pull up on him, he started calming down with that goofy shit.
Right.
And I pull up, give me your location. I pull right up on you.
And this the thing, man. We all know that it don't even gotta be all of that, because all we doing is on here. If we supposed to be on here talking boxing, who gonna win, who ain't gonna win, and breaking down fights. That's all we want to do.
That's all I want to do.
You know what I'm saying?
When I get on their show, I hardly even talk about my brother. I talk about other fighters.
Right. That's all we want to do. But when you get, you know what I'm saying, you got certain clowns, like I said, they get on the internet, they, you know what I'm saying, they get some powder up their nose, and then they turn into Superman all of a sudden and think that they could do and say anything they want to. They think they could do and say anything they want to. And you know, at a certain point, you gotta see me. You gotta see the next man that you disrespected, or you gotta stay in your motherfucking mama basement. Straight up.
Man, like I was taught, man, there's men all over the planet, man. It's real men all over the planet, man.
World Combat Sport
know how to carry themselves, man.
World Combat Sports says Gusto was trying to cap for Bill like they got a group of killers. Like they're a group of killers. I don't even know who that dude is. I don't know him. So
man, there's a nigga on this panel. If you go look at the panel, the dark skin fat nigga. Come on, dog. Dog, you in my area, dog. You in the DMV, dog. Nigga, nigga will slide up on you, man. You live out there in the suburbs somewhere, dog. Stay a suburb nigga.
Right.
Stay a suburb boxing nigga, dog.
Man. These dudes is funny, man. For real. Like, stick to what you're doing, you know. Stick to what you're doing. All of that trying to talk slick, and then like I said, dude H Money telling Gary, oh man, you a little nigga, nigga, I'll fuck you up. I'm like, man, come on, bro, dog. Why you come on, man? That shit, man. That dude is wild. Dude is wild, man. Like I said, he's just a fucking clown. Ain't gonna never come outside. You know? Never gonna come outside.
You never gonna come out Memphis, that's all.
Yeah. But man, so before I get off here, Batman, why I got you on, you know, let me get your take. Who you got? Let me get your take on the Lomachenko, right? Let me switch it up a little bit. Let me get you, and I don't know if you was in here earlier. Lomachenko, right? I got some breaking news, and you probably gonna hear about it after. Lomachenko, right? I mean, not Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, if he beat Lomachenko, he wants to leave Top Rank and he wants to go over to PBC. He's trying to get out of that Top Rank contract he got. He's trying to go over to the PBC. Now, what you say? Repeat that.
I said they not giving him no real money, so they not gonna really pay him. You know, if he go over to PBC with them 3 belts and that franchise tag, he won't get paid.
Right. Now, do you think, you know, him being able to get out of that contract, I think that's a whole nother situation that me nor you can answer that. We don't know what type of contract he in.
He gonna do what Floyd did. He gonna buy himself out his contract. He just gonna buy himself out his contract.
You think
and once he buys himself out his contract, he gonna get more money because he's sellable.
Right.
And he know how to sell himself. But listen to this, Teofimo Lopez. You should have did that shit after you won. You should have told them people that shit after you won. If it go to 12, they're gonna give it to Lomachenko.
Now, do you think who you got in that fight? Because I'm gonna be straight up. I got bread on it too. I got Lomachenko.
I'm cheering for Lomachenko, but like I said, Lomachenko stay on the outside. If that young boy can crack, and if he crack you, it might be over. If, like my brother was weak when he cracked you. Motherfucker, Linares ain't know how to finish when he cracked you. When Shorty hit you, you be already fucked up. And motherfucker, he know how to finish. I mean, that's but from boxing, from the outside moving and angles, Chico got him. He's just an athletic fighter. And he can't do that shoulder roll shit on Lomachenko. Because that's all he's gonna do is he's gonna smother your hook hand and turn you to where you can't use your right hand. So I mean,
right. I mean, I got Lomachenko.
But listen, if it go to 12 and you was beating the shit out of Lomachenko and it looked a little close, but you was actually looked like you was landing the significant punches, you are not gonna win, son. Because off the break, you should have never let your showed your hand. Should have never showed your hand. You should have waited till you won and then got out your contract, dog. Them people, Bob Earl is gonna make sure you don't even fucking win.
Yeah, but to keep it 100, I don't think we're gonna need all of that because I think that Lomachenko gonna beat him clearly. That's just my opinion. Now, my man, World Combat Sports, Scotty White, he asked me, is we locked in for the bet? Yeah. What is it? Put the number in there. Whatever number you put in the chat, we locked in. We locked in. Whatever, because I know I'm locked in with BFTV already. Me and him got 500 on it. I think that me and Blue Blood got like 100 on it, and then World Combat Sports, Scotty, me and Scotty put the number in there. Scotty, we locked in.
Man, you got the most odds, dog. You got the most odds. It's going to see him, man. You can bet a 12 last year in Lopez. You ain't going to see Bob Brown pays some people on, man.
But see,
came out with that statement.
But see, I'm such a real one. If Lomo lose and they give him a decision and I know he lost, I'm gonna just call it a wash. You ain't even gotta send me nothing. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna
even split.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some real shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do that. Just
well,
you know.
I'm just gonna tell them guys that's what's happening. So you about to break even. If that boy get the winner and don't knock him out, but go 12 with him, hey, Lomachenko because he played his hand and talking about leaving Bob Earl. So you think Bob Earl? Listen, man. Did y'all see the Manny Pacquiao fight? Manny Pacquiao won that fight. You think Bob Earl, Manny Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao was done after that fight?
You talking about when he fought Jeff Horn?
Yeah, you see him let Manny Pacquiao leave that belt.
Man, hell yeah, he beat Jeff Horn. But motherfuckers are trying to say that he didn't beat Jeff Horn just to argue Terence Crawford fighting Jeff Horn. That's the only reason. But
I understand that. But everybody would ask so he was landing the significant punches. The only thing Jeff Horn was doing was pushing Manny Pacquiao around, man, wrestling his ass. Slim. You see, Bob Earl ain't let that belt leave the fucking top rank.
Right.
Y'all saw that. So
nah, he wouldn't.
So you think he's going to let Teofimo Lopez leave with that shit? The only way he's leaving with that shit is with a knockout.
Oh, you know what? I just got what you were saying. I missed what you were saying when you said what you said. You were saying that Teofimo should have let them know after he won the fight because now he ain't got no chance, they ain't gonna let him win, even if he do win. Okay, yeah, I hear what you said. That make a lot of sense. Make a whole lot of sense. But me personally, I think that Lomachenko just better. And I think that Lomachenko, unless Teofimo Lopez can knock him out, and that's a slim chance. I think that Lomachenko gonna outbox him. I think Lomachenko just gonna beat him clearly, and we ain't gonna need to think or guess who won or be arguing about it. I think he gonna beat him unanimously.
Loma get bored, and Loma like to go on the inside and take chances. So, like I said, he can start getting touched and get hurt and lose some of his legs, and that boy can take over the fight. But if that boy don't stop him, that boy is not getting out that ring with them belts.
Right.
He's not getting out the ring with them belts. And y'all can quote me or y'all can call me on this. He's not leaving that ring with them belts if it goes 12 rounds. He's not. Room is not going to let him.
Oh, all right, Scotty, we locked in for 100. Okay, bet. That's yeah. That's what I thought it was too. Yeah, we locked in for sure. Man, I can't wait for that fight. The fights this weekend. You know, it's so much shit going on this weekend, Batman. We got the 2 pay-per-view events with both Charlos. We got what else we got? I know the UFC, that shit gonna be on too. You know, I'm gonna be tuning into that shit. And then basketball. Man, I hate when there's so much of shit be going on at once. I'm gonna have 2 TVs up and I'm gonna have two TVs up in my living room, and then I'm gonna have something on my phone.
So when they fight this weekend?
No. The Charlos fight this weekend.
And Teofimo will fight the next weekend.
No. Teofimo and Lomo, they fight in October. They fight like October? Yeah, they fight in October. They fight when is it? October they fight because Tank fight in October, Teofimo and Lomo fight in October. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
I know Tank fight the 26th.
And then and Teofimo and Teofimo and Lomachenko, they fight on the 17th of October.
Okay. And like I was saying with the Terence Crawford situation, Terence Crawford should be fighting Ugas or Sean Porter or Keith Thurman. He shouldn't be fighting Kell Brook, man. Kell Brook ain't been at 47 since when? Kell Brook, he been at 54 fighting all bums and barely winning. Don't look at his fights. He's been at 54 fighting all bums, barely winning. So you telling me that a man that ain't been to 147 that choked himself, tried to kill himself last time to fight Earl Spence, he put on a good showing. But now he ain't been at 47 for 3 years. He's gonna make 47 and look good doing it. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. This another. He probably don't lay down like Khan did, but this ain't nothing but another Khan fight with a man with a stronger chin than Khan. That's it. That's all, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
He should be fighting Keith Thurman. He should be fighting Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or Ugas. Oh, my little brother, but them the 3 he should be fighting before if he was to take a fight with my little brother.
See,
he
this
fight Sean Porter, Ugas, or Keith Thurman, because that can be pay-per-view fights. Them are the fighters people want to see Terence Crawford face. So if you do good numbers with them 2, then you can say I can get a 50-50 split with Earl Spence. If you can go and get a 300 pay-per-view buys, 300,000 pay-per-view buys with one of them, then you can go to Earl and say I want 50-50, because I can do the same thing you can do with a name. But other than that, man, it's about to be hard for him, man, because you fighting all bums. You fighting, I ain't gonna call them bums, but you fighting B-class fighters, man. Right now at 147, Kell Brook is B-class, man.
Well, see, this my thing with it, right? This my thing with it is that we know that he wasn't gonna fight none of them cats, right? He turning down all the smoke with he not fighting none of them dudes. We know. So I didn't have a problem with Kell Brook is because I'm like, well, it's somebody. It's somebody that's better than a Green Machine, a level opponent like that.
It's say that. He's never Kell Brook. When you go back and look at him, he's never been himself. He never looked. He fighting Burns. Don't look at him. I just looked at a couple of his fights. He over there fighting. He was fighting all Burns and ain't even looking that impressive.
Nah, you right. You right. But we still got that. We still got that hope, wish, and a prayer that he can, that he can go back.
Y'all had that about Khan. Y'all had that about Khan. But what happened?
But Khan, the same dude that's been ducking Kell Brook for years and years. You dig?
I understand that. But Kell Brook is a broken package, man. He's a broken package. He got his eye broke by Earl. He got his other eye broke by the left. He never been right since after the Earl Spence fight because he's struggling with Burns. Niggas he was throwing out the room that made him look good.
But see, the thing is, Batman is right. We think that he washed up and done, right? And I know I watched him just like you did, and he ain't impressed me, right? He ain't impressed me. But the thing is that he still ain't been beat since he ain't been beat by nobody but Errol Spence and Triple G. Other than that, you know what I'm saying?
He's not that bummy to get beat by a C-class fighter, but he's struggling with C-class fighters. He's struggling with people that come for their Earl Spence get out of there on the break.
I mean, but shit, at the end of the day, he gotta fight somebody. You dig what I'm saying? He gotta fight somebody. So if it's Kell Brook, he ain't fighting nobody else. So if it's Kell Brook, fuck it. Fight Kell Brook. So go in there, huh?
He can fight Kell, but look, you just duck. You've been calling these guys out. All right, cool. But them guys on the other side of the street doing things. Then this is why I respect Earl more than him, dog.
Oh, no doubt.
Listen, all them guys turned their chin up at Earl Spence and they want to fight him. And Earl Spence is running through the gauntlet. He's going after everybody he called out. He's giving them niggas chances. Danny Garcia ain't want to see Earl Spence at first. Motherfucker, they was telling him get a belt. He took the belt from Kell Brook. Oh man, we ain't trying to fight him. Then they fought each other for the WBC. Which Sean got the belt. Sean was supposed to fight him next. Oh, he was gonna fight him. Also, handle my mandatory. You got a year to handle your mandatory. So you wouldn't go fight Ugas. Shorty for Mike Garcia. Never heard the same name. Damn. He didn't want to fight Mikey, but Mikey pressed the issue and he got his ass fight. Then he's gonna fight Porter. Now he's about to fight. He could have told what's his name? Could have told Danny, I ain't gotta fight you. I'm gonna go after somebody else, but no, I called you out, and then I'm gonna fuck you up. This for me having to go through that bullshit. I'm still gonna see you. And he's saying the top, he's saying the top 6 people and at the welterweight division. Come on, man, and you can't put Terence Crawford in the top 6 or top 5 because he never fought a credible welterweight.
Hey man, I can't disagree with none you saying. I can't disagree with none you saying. But when it all comes down to it, you know what I'm saying. The man got to get in there and fight somebody. And if Kell Brook somehow.
Once he listen, you saying that now, but if he run through Kell Brook, I'm gonna say the same thing. Oh, man, Kell Brook ain't even fucking fighting.
No, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not finna say that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about if he run through Kell Brook and Kell Brook don't put up a fight, what you gonna say?
I don't think that though. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that though.
Saying, if Kell Brook don't put up a fight and do with the same shit, what's his name? Khan did. Y'all gonna say the same thing y'all said about Khan. Khan was hyping up the fight, so y'all was like, Khan really never got whooped at 147. He a real welterweight. He only went up and fought what's his name?
Canelo. But see, Batman, Khan had just almost got knocked out by who he had fought before that. Khan had fought
huh?
I know you
talking about the bum nigga he fought over.
Yeah.
Over cross.
Yeah, and he barely got past that motherfucker. He almost got knocked out by him.
So why you want to see him fight Terence Crawford? They hype that shit up like that shit.
I didn't want to see that shit, but you know.
But my man name that was training him, Virgil hyping him up. Man, I was like, man, look at this shit, man. Then you checked in, but you checked in, you didn't even finish the fight. You checked in. I hope Kell Brook give us one of them Errol Spence fights.
Shit, man. Hey, that's all we wishing. That's all we wishing in the back of our head is can Kell Brook look like he did before?
I'm gonna say this: if Errol Spence ain't stopped Kell Brook, they was gonna give it to Kell Brook. Yeah. If that fight would have went to 12, Errol Spence would have lost.
Yeah, you over there in that man's backyard. You already know what was gonna go down. But see, Errol Spence knew that.
He was working. Both of them was working. And some of them rounds you can toss up. But Earl just started bringing it on. But see, Batman, Errol Spence knew that. He knew going over there. He didn't go over there to get no decision. He knew I'm gonna have to go over here and knock this motherfucker out and stop him to get this belt. So he approached that fight with a whole different demeanor. He approached that fight with a whole different game plan. He knew that he was going to have to stop Kell Brook. And that's what I be telling people. He didn't go in there trying to box with Kell Brook. He went in there trying to, you know what I'm saying, get him up out of there. He was pushing Kell Brook back. He was making sure Kell Brook hit him with something. He hit him with something even harder. He was sitting there just trying to stop him down. He was weighing him down. But also, Kell was fighting back. Even when he hurt Kell the first time, Kell came back. When he made him take the knee the first time, he came back in that round and came back out firing.
Yeah, Kell Brook. People forget Kell Brook was the boogeyman of that division before EJ was.
Yeah, he started to fight.
Yeah. Then once he came in there and whooped Porter like he did, then nobody want to fight Kell Brook, but EJ.
No, he didn't really whoop Kell Brook.
Well, I'm saying he beat him decisively though.
He beat him decisively, but
he manhandled him. He was handling him.
Yeah, he did the best boxing strategy. He was punching, and then when they get close,
holding. Yeah, he was holding it. But he was stronger. He was using his strength. He was stronger than Sean Porter, and we don't really see that.
He's bigger than Sean Porter.
Yeah.
The nigga the same size as Errol for real.
Errol said he the strongest dude he had ever been in the ring with. He's like, that motherfucker strong.
Let's see what motherfucker Terence Crawford do. Hopefully he coming in like he came in with the Errol Spence fight. Hopefully he come with that Kell Brook. Not the Kell Brook we've been saying lately.
Yeah, before I get up out of here, let me read this comment. Let me see. L Center says, we just talking about Crawford and Gary in Colorado back in the day. He says, what they left out is that Crawford got kicked off the team for that. He says he was waiting for Gary with a butter knife at the hotel. Elaborate on that. He said Crawford was waiting for Gary with a butter. He said he would have grabbed a butter knife.
If he had a butter knife, why he wasn't waiting for him with his hands to beat the shit out of him? Why he needed a butter knife?
Right.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Something must have happened.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This he said, your man telling the truth. My brother must have cracked the shit out of his ass, and he felt that shit.
Let me read that one more time before I get up out of here. He said, we was just talking about Crawford and Gary in Colorado back in the day. He says, what they left out is that Crawford got kicked off the team for that. He says he was waiting for Gary with a butter knife at the hotel. Hey, that shit funny because it reminded me way back when me and my mans, we playing Nintendo way back in the day. And I was whooping him and he got mad. He went in the kitchen and grabbed a butter knife on me. They said he went and grabbed a butter knife. Man.
Why he go grab the butter knife? Why he ain't wait for Gary to beat his ass like he said he would do? He'll break his neck and all this shit. Come on, man, because I'm waiting when we go out and this shit get back together. I'm one of the niggas that me and my little brother Allen, one of the niggas waiting for this shit to go down, dog. For when you see us, we waiting to see what's going to really happen. What y'all going to do? Come on, man. Come on, man. Why don't you just go ahead and get your put Shorty on a contract, get your $5 million guaranteed, and try to handle them.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say like this: 2 fights that these promoters gonna be scared to make is, like I said, if they ever put Tank and Gary Russell in the DMV area, some shit gonna go down that night, right? The same with Terence Crawford and Gary Russell. Some shit gonna go down, you know what I'm saying, with the 2 camps and just the fans, the crowd. So, you know, I don't know. If I don't know if they'll even ever put that together, because they know, you know.
It's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, they know.
It's gonna make like right now, Tank said Gary wasn't popular enough. Now he's popular enough, so
I'll let you know right now, that ain't happening. Tank and Gary Russell, that ain't happening. Tank is protected. Get mad if you want to. They protecting Tank over there. They picking and choosing who they put Tank in the ring. Huh?
I ain't mad at
No. I'm talking about just you know, just the fans and stuff.
I'm talking about the business.
Yeah.
Oh, the fans, man, look, man. Fans are fucked up nowadays, man. When you call a nigga out, you clout chasing. When you want to fight it wasn't like that back in the day.
Nah, it wasn't.
When call somebody out, they want to see their fight. But now there's some shit called clout chasing.
Shit didn't change, man. That's what I said, man. These fans nowadays, when I grew up watching boxing in the 80s and 90s and shit, it wasn't like that. The best fought the best. You didn't have all these fake ass belts.
When Hearns was chasing what's my man name? Sugar Ray Leonard. When he was chasing Sugar Ray Leonard down, it wasn't called clout chasing.
Hell no. It was he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Ray Leonard because Ray Leonard was saying he was the best, and you had Hearn saying he was the best, and that's what it was about.
Was the cash cow. Ray Leonard was the cash cow back then.
Yeah, but see, but see, back then too, you didn't have all these fuck ass belts, all these fake ass belts. Yeah, you didn't have all of that.
You only had 2 belts.
Yeah.
You only had 2.
So in order to be that top echelon, you was gonna have to fight the best, and that was it. So
man, they need to make this shit tournament style now, man.
Man, remember back when they had the Super 6 with Ward? Man, that shit was lit. Too many people wouldn't know boxing back then because you know it was kind of a downtime in boxing. But man, Ward, that's what really showed. Ward really got to show he was that dude.
True.
You know,
but like I said, like this should be the format, man. That motherfucking everybody should fight their mandatory, and then after you fight your mandatory, have to fight for a unification match.
Right.
If you fight your mandatory again, and if you got 2 belts, y'all got to fight for an undisputed match. That's how it should be. And you know, whoever be undisputed, they gotta fight the best. They gotta fight the best in each joint. And each sanctioning body, you gotta fight the number one man.
Right.
You got 6 months. You got 6 months after you fight the number one man. If you undisputed, you got 6 months to get to the next man. Come on, man. That's how it should be.
I'll tell you this. It'll weed out a lot of these fighters that's out here talking that shit.
It will.
It'll weed out. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna separate the boys from the men. Straight up.
That's like an amateurs, you can't duck nobody.
Yeah, you fight everybody in amateurs.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, I'm trying to get up out of here. Dude said Rasheed Warren. He said Rasheed Warren was 5-0 against Gary Russell and his brothers, and 6-0 if you want to count their cousin in the amateurs.
Oh, Rasheed Warren, dog, we gotta take. See, this is why I ain't even want to do this, dog. And you can go ask. It's a tape in the fucking and he talking about when Gary was a kid. He talking about when Gary was a kid. He beat Gary when they was like 8 or 10. But go ask who said that?
El Alcaran Center.
El Alcaran Center. Go ask Newt about Colorado. Why he couldn't spot Gary Russell no more. I asked him when they was on the team together, why he couldn't spot Gary Russell no more. Yeah, since he won Wisconsin, somebody get the camera in front of Newt's face and ask him why he couldn't spot Gary Russell no more at the USA Olympic Training Center.
Hey man,
we got hey Slim, we got a lot of tapes on these dudes, man, and we ain't even putting them out.
Yeah, man. All of these dudes, the thing in amateurs, the scoring system is different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it depending on.
Listen, he actually beat Curry when they were small.
Yeah.
But when teenagers, when they became teenagers, my brother whooped everybody on the Olympic team from 140 to on down.
Yeah.
Dog. What's my man's name? Hassan Ali.
Saddam Ali. Saddam Ali. Yeah.
Saddam Ali. He's his ass. Raynell Williams, the 125 was beating his ass. The 132 was beating his ass. Come on, dog. I mean, I ain't want to put that out there, but since y'all going back and going back in the days and shit like that, go ask these guys, man. Go ask these guys what was happening to them at the Olympic Training Center, dog. We had to come get my brother real work because y'all couldn't work with him no more. That Dan Campbell wouldn't let y'all work with him no more. We had to come down to give my brother some work.
Shit, I mean, my man El Alcaran. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's from Ohio. You know, Ohio got some hitters out there, but you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's about what you're doing right now. Who got the better career, right? And I fuck with Rasheed Warren, but I mean, who doing what right now? Who better right now? Who had the better career? Gary Russell. Huh? Yeah, that's what I said. I said who ended up having a better career in the professional ranks, and Gary Russell, without a doubt. You know,
Rasheed ain't pop. Rasheed still fast-handed, but he don't have no pop on his punch.
Yeah, so Rasheed, you know,
then Rasheed was 21, and then he talking about what Gary. He beat my little brother Antonio Russell when he was 16 years old, and Duke was a grown man. And one of the wins was a cheat.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? One of the wins was a cheat because Nuke was the favorite. Why you think he was on the Olympic team 3 times?
Right. Yeah,
and
man.
Still never came up with a medal. Always lost in the first round. Oh,
yeah, man. All these dudes, you know, they got some type of history, you know, to but man, I appreciate you, Batman. I've been on here cooking for 3.5 hours, man. I'm gonna get up off here and man, hey, you gotta let your brother. I mean, you gotta let your young bulls, you know, Gary Antoine and Gary Antonio, man. Stay on them, man. Like I said before, man. These fans need to know about them because they're the future.
Man, look, man, y'all gonna know about them, man. Man, once they get their turn, once Al Heyman give them their turn, man, watch. It's gonna be a turn-up situation, man.
But you know how boxing is now. They gotta put up forth that effort. They gotta promote themselves too. You know, they gotta.
I be telling them that all the time. You ain't gonna get what you want until you get popular and the fans want you. This shit like any wholesale or anything you selling, you gotta sell to the fans where you can get more clientele.
Right.
You get more clientele, the more Al or whoever you sign to is gonna want to push you because you're gonna be a money getter.
Yep. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you, Batman, for you. Like I said, man, you welcome to come in anytime you want to. Everybody in the chat, salute to everybody in the chat. You got anything you want to say before you get up out of here, Batman?
Man, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to my man Money. You know what I'm saying? My man Money. I talked to my man Money today, man. Money cool dude, man. You know, salute to Keon, man. Keon, man, been a real dude ever since I, you know, linked up with him, man. So, you know what I'm saying? And every Sunday I will be on Drew Titan, man. Drew Titan breaking down film and talking about the old school versus the new school, man.
Yeah, so y'all hear that, Drew? And if y'all ain't join Drew Titan, you know, go join Drew Titan and you know, Batman and Drew Titan every Sunday. What time y'all on Sunday so everybody will know?
Every Sunday
At
at 7.
7 Eastern time, right?
Yeah, Eastern time.
Yeah, every Sunday at 7 Eastern time, you know, go to Drew Titan and him and Batman gonna be breaking down fights, you know, old school and new school. And like I said, I appreciate everybody in the chat. And y'all already know how I do. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. There you go talking that boxing again. Anything ain't everything, but around here, everything boxing. Salute to everybody. I'm out.
All right, Keith.
All right, dude, man.